Ah, it started now, Mars.
Guys, Ori let me believe I was on stream this entire time. I'm talking to no one.
Intention. It was not my intention. I wanted to.
It wasn't your intention. You just like making a fool out of me.
Hello, King Starman. How are you? Hello to Dichotomy, who can't hear us.
Hello, King Starman, Dichotomy.
Mars did get accidentally pranked. Yeah.
That should have been my first clue. Is that Ori didn't say hi to anybody.
Yeah, I said hi to you because last time this happened as well, and I tried to specifically this time be like, hello, I am talking to you on Discord first. And then I just left. I was like, I'm gonna go check if my water's boiling.
My brain is not here from that, because what I heard from you was I might dip during stream to check on my tea.
I will have to, yes. Because
hence, I thought we were on stream.
Hello, Mason.
I can't be blamed for this one.
I don't blame you at all, but don't blame me either, okay? It's a neutral, neutral thing.
It was a simultaneous screw up.
Yes. But hello, everyone. Welcome to this lovely Tuesday. It has been not very long since we talked to you on this Comic Corner last, because we did it Friday last week. Which was wild.
Not been long at all, which is kind of cool, kind of swish,
kind of neat, kind of wild. It kind of makes the week feel short in a way.
It does, and I'm struggling with that because this is my last week of internship, so I'm like already a little discombobulated.
It's good you get to be done then, though, Mars.
I do, and then I can pour energy into the comic, and it's great.
Yeah, we need to get that just like I'm doing now. We're on the grind set, but Mars.
Once I have all my crap laminated, I will.
I'm so sad
sharing my
that I couldn't get a good picture, but I was driving to work this morning, and I'm behind all these cars, and there's like the cement barrier wall on the right side, right between the road and the tree line and everything. And to the left is actually the water, and the sun was coming up over the water. Work on the comic, Mason.
Oh, how gorgeous.
It was coming up over the water, but that's not what I wanted to get a picture of. The way that the sun cast a shadow on the cars that were in front of me, which then cast a shadow on the cement wall, looked like the Italian hand gesture. You know what I'm talking about?
You lost me.
Fingers together hand. Come on, when you're like, oh, and your hand gesturing, and you're making, you know.
Sure.
Okay, take your hand, Mars.
Is it the one that people have been doing that meme to, where they're showing something good and they're going up and down while pinching their fingers and their thumb together? Is that it?
Literally bring all your 4 fingers and touch your thumb. Now turn your palm up. And then you gesture, and this is the Italian.
Yes. That's the meme. That's the meme.
It was making that shape.
Oh,
that was so funny.
Wow. So even the weather was like, it's a good today.
Yeah, it's a good today.
It's a good today. All
right, now Mars, I will actually be right back, and stream is happening.
Okay. Well, I'm aware of it this time. Ay. Tisk tisk Ori, tisk tisk. Well, unfortunately, as I said before, all of you lovely people came on. I am not looking at my screen right now, so I can't see what you guys are saying in chat, but welcome. Happy Tuesday, happy evening to one and all. I am currently trying to get my life in order to make these last 2 days as easy as possible for myself, because guys, I love what I do. I adore what I do. It's so much fun. I have a blast every day. I have to prep a lot of stuff. And half the time that involves using a laminator and making things and printing and cutting and pasting and sticking and gluing, and it's a lot.
You make a meatball. Mars is okay, Mason.
I'm making the meatball.
You missed that I left during our 5-minute countdown to go check if my tea water had boiled and she thought stream had started. And I have my wireless headphones on and I'm like walked over to the kitchen.
She's
and
just
she's
hearing
like,
me talk
"Hi,
to nobody.
guys, I can't see the chat right now." And I'm like, fuck, I need to run back and tell her.
Nah,
You're
I'm
welcome,
giving
King
Ori
Starman.
deja
I'm
vu
really glad
right
you
now.
liked it. It's so funny, King Starman. I didn't intend for it to be such like 2 colors. It's obviously not solely 2 colors, but like mainly the sort of like dark blue, black, and like the yellow. But you know what? It worked. It worked out.
Which,
Worked
come on,
out,
guys. Those are just the best.
Yeah, it worked out well. But yeah, so Mars is okay, Mason. Just a little scatterbrained. She's got to finish up her last
Yes.
bit of intern stuff.
My last bit of internship, and then next week, literally my plan is to work on the comic during the hours I would have been in internship, with a couple more breaks here and there, because let's be honest, I don't want carpal tunnel. But,
Hello, Pastry Puff.
yes, next week will be comic week, and I am getting all of entry 5 done. I'm getting the rest of entry 7 written up.
Well, yeah,
I'm
what you
getting
need
the
to finish 10
in-between
for me
comic.
this week, and then
Yeah, I'm trying.
I know, Mars, but we're on a really
I
tight
know,
deadline
I know.
here.
What
Ori
I
doesn't
can
get
do is
sudden
on
free
Friday I
time.
can dedicate all my time to it. That is my plan. Whatever doesn't get knocked out tonight and Thursday, it's getting done Friday.
Because it's like I don't
possibly a
get
little
sudden
bit
free time.
Tomorrow. Possibly a little bit tomorrow, because to my knowledge, I will be asynchronous tomorrow, class-wise. So
Yeah,
that
you
means
just
after my
did
internship,
it,
I
so
get to go straight home.
I think you're good.
And I can do what I do until class starts.
Beautiful.
And guys, it's okay, don't get me wrong. I miss my old laptop. It saw me through undergrad. It was a good one. But I gotta be honest, not having to switch laptops constantly is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's like we were trying to
Yes,
get you to
I'm
do
nuts.
that
I know.
earlier.
I know. It felt weird. It didn't feel like my lap. Like, okay.
Mars felt like she was cheating
The-
on her laptop, guys.
Here are the 2 things I wanted to salvage from my old laptop. I wanted to salvage the music, which I didn't do, so that failed. But I also wanted to salvage all the pretty stickers I put on it.
That's why I
because
refuse.
I don't want to lose those.
That's why I refuse
Oh,
to put.
Ori? No. I gotta say, the artist I got these stickers from, top tier. Top tier. I was able to pull them off. There was no peeling. There was no ripping. There was not a ton of residue left behind, which was great. And when I stuck them on the new laptop cover, there's no lifting. There's no nothing. Like, they are on
That's
there.
very impressive. That's some
I don't
high
know-
quality
I don't
removable
know
vinyl.
what these artists are using.
High quality
but they're
removable
great.
vinyl.
These stickers are great.
But I'm one of those people. No, I refuse to put stickers on my computers. I refuse to put stickers on like my water bottles. People do that on water bottles because to
Ooh.
me,
I have stickers on my water bottle.
both of those things are like ephemeral by nature, right?
Really?
Yeah, especially computers, right? Mars is okay. You can't hear me,
Why does
Dichotomy.
everyone think I'm not okay? Am I not
Mars
coming
is
through?
Fine. No,
I, like,
Mason
quiet
just
or
asked that
something?
Dichotomy doesn't have ears.
Oh, okay. I'm like, that's twice now. Someone thinks I'm not okay. Am I giving the impression I'm not okay?
No.
I don't mean
But-
to.
But yeah, like laptops are something that, and computers in general, that you have to go through. They will die
Oh, yeah.
eventually. They will not last forever. Water bottles, it depends. Like my mom got me a Stanley Cup just because she got herself a Stanley Cup, and like they're supposed to be really
I will
good
not
and
give
last a
in.
long time. I would never have bought one for myself, but solely because my mom's like, "Here you go, Ori. You like pink," and I was like, "Well, yes, I
Like,
do."
I do like pink, and I like cups.
It certainly works well for its purpose. Are any of
As
us
long as it
okay?
gets the job done.
Day to day, depends.
It depends. Sometimes, you might have seen some bad drivers that day. Maybe you watched a sad episode, or maybe you watched a happy episode. There's so many factors to keep track
But
of.
see, King Starman, well, it's an excuse to buy more stickers. I like the stickers that I have. I don't want to throw them away, and I don't want to, like, have to hold on to these items that are now useless just for the stickers. So I have a solution, guys. There is a solution that I have because I'm an artist, and that's they go on my sketchbooks.
See,
because
I can't
those
do
are
that
forever. You got journals, don't you? You never write?
Not really. I'm more of a typer than a writer, to be honest, because I
see.
I don't know.
But yeah,
I wrote a lot in high school because I didn't have access to a laptop.
I get it. I will say
once I got the laptop, I got spoiled.
The one downside to stickers going on my sketchbooks are like a dark gray. And when you have the like clear stickers, they don't show up very well. Writing too much makes your wrist hurt. Yeah, my thumb.
Oh, I feel that.
My thumb is feeling it right now.
Essay days, finals, and there's an essay attached to it. The worst. The worst. My hand cramps and it like cramps for 2 hours post-test. It sucks.
They're like, oh, it's because you like push too hard, and it's like, sometimes
to be fair,
bad.
Yes, but also no.
Oh, I 100% push too hard. This is not a question.
I totally pushed too hard.
I definitely push a lot less hard than I, did once upon a time. Once upon a time, I would have like the marks, like underneath the paper, right? Like the layer beneath would be like visible,
like it goes through it.
That was definitely me once upon a time. I'm definitely better now, but I still definitely like press too hard.
Guys, I held my pencil so wrong. Like, it worked, and my writing was legible and everything. But I held my pencil so wrong, everyone asked me, why are you holding it like that? What are you doing? What's wrong with you? I'm like, this is just how I hold my pencil. Stop judging me.
Alright, I'll be right back.
I'm just trying to live my life. I'm just trying to write, and here you are judging me. I don't think I hold the pencil quote unquote the wrong way. But I think what everyone tells me is I'm holding it like my hand is too far down. It's too close to the point. I'm like, where else am I supposed to put my hand to hold the freaking pencil? And yes, that is how I hold the stylus when I'm working on the comic. So the habit never left. It's still there. It's still present. Oish. Guys, between you, me, and the lamppost, laminating takes for freaking ever. Like, it's not like a quick 1, 2, zoop, zoop, you're done. No, this thing is like painstakingly slow. I think I have 2 sheets left, so I'm almost done, but jeez. And then I gotta make sure it's not hot before I put it away. It's a whole process, you guys. I do have to say, though, everything looks super nice once it's laminated. High recommendation. High recommendation.
Alright, now I can enjoy my snack. I'm done leaving you for the night. But, anytime I laminate, I'm laminating one small things, but a bunch of things. So, vibe. And I have to put them through twice because I'm a thick girly. I like my cards thick. I like my paper thick. I use fucking 10.
Do you use the 5 milliliter?
No,
milliliter.
10.
5
10. I use 10, Mars. The cards are 10.
You have a laminator that can handle 10?
Yes, my laminator is it doesn't take full sheet of paper sizes. It doesn't take like letter size. It takes like, I think 6. It's 6 inches maybe wide. Because the purpose that I use it is for that. It is.
I finished.
Yay! Yeah, Ori is a thick girly.
I reached up to grab more and there were no more.
And,
freedom.
I lost my train of thought, King Starman. No. I bought a laminator specifically for the purpose of making the trading cards. And originally, the trading cards actually had 2 very thick pieces of paper sandwiched together. I think they're like 100-gram, GSM or whatever it is.
That
cover
is
paper.
hella thick.
And it was 2 pieces because I put the Copic marker, and then I had to have, and those bleed through, and then I had to have another sheet of paper to be the back side, right, to cover it. And I was printing them on the same thing. And if they weren't thick, you could still see the ink through it. And then the laminator goes whoop 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 whoop. And
that is the most accurate sound
and I like
typed out I've ever heard.
I like the cards being sturdy. We don't want any bending. We don't want any opening.
Well, we don't want them bending. We don't want the lamination paper falling off.
Originally, I think I was using 5. I think before I had the laminator. And then I was like, okay, we're just like, I have a very good job. I don't pay rent. I was living with my parents at the time. I have like no bills. Like I've paid off my student loans. I will buy a laminator solely for this purpose. And I have 0 regrets, guys. I really do. I enjoy it a lot. I don't use it all the time, but I do use it for this specific thing. And honestly, fucking worth it in my opinion. It's great.
It got the job done.
It does exactly what I want it to do. I do have to put it through twice, like once each side, and it is on a very, very high setting for the laminate I'm using. But it really protects the cards nice. It really goes out well, and it's great. So, you know what?
Very nice.
Sometimes it's okay to splurge on yourself. Okay, now the question is, do I
okay to splurge on yourself?
Is this good? Do I eat the orange with a face, an avocado, or a ladybug?
I vote ladybug.
What about you, chat? Which marzipan piece should I eat?
You get to decide the course of Ori's life, you guys. By making this choice, you create 3 branching realities.
Oh, King Starman says the ladybug. Mason says the ladybug.
Oh, Mason says ladybug.
All right.
I think the ladybug wins.
I don't know if the stick and leaf of this orange are edible, so I'll have to figure out that another time. Yeah, my parents went to Spain, and they brought me back Spanish marzipan.
Yum.
It's so much less sweet than American marzipan.
Really?
Oh yeah, by a ton. Oh my god.
Huh. Do you like it more than American marzipan?
Oh, wait.
Oh.
This one has
there was a secret flavor in there?
Yeah, this one does.
Ooh. Are you feeling it?
I don't know what it is. I like this one.
Mr. Krabs?
So far, I had one that looked like a kiwi. I like this ladybug more. It's got some flavor in it. I don't know what it is, though. It's very mild, but it's not just,
is it like
marzipan.
Fruity?
Yeah, it's kind of like
citrusy.
I would say more fruity than citrusy.
Okay.
Well, it's good. It's interesting. I like it. I like this one a lot. This one I would say I like more than American marzipan.
Ooh, we have a winner, guys.
This one's really good.
Ding ding.
You guys chose well.
Now to cut out a crap ton of stuff.
My fingers are red now, though.
Well, that's just what marzipan does to you.
Yeah, really. Well, just because the ladybug's red on top.
I would definitely do it. I had a really good cookie tonight. My dad went out to the bakery and he got like this chocolate chip with nuts, but it was like that. It was like a really fat cookie. So it was super thick and super chewy. It was really good. And then the nuts just added that right amount of crunch. That crunch. It was so good.
Well, I actually had an interesting topic we could discuss a little more.
Ooh, I'm down.
And I guess it was sort of in the like
what do you have in mind?
Kind of motivation or burnout field, right? I know Mason had mentioned in the Discord yesterday that they took a day off from school because they deserved it. They worked hard. They wanted to work on their comic, but just weren't really feeling it, Shulk. They weren't
And
really
hope your
feeling it.
off day was good, Mason.
I hope it was relaxing at the very least. But
Relaxing and enjoyable.
I'm sort of curious to ask Mars, is there ever a time when... I bet it happens with writing, but is there ever a time with the comic coloring you're like, I don't really want to do this?
You know,
Hello,
that
Rubble.
absolutely feels like a trick question, but hell yeah, there are times like that.
How dare you, fired! No.
No, I knew it was a trap. No, she tricked me, you guys. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, there have definitely been times like that because it's I'm not as
That's why I got a writer,
as
Mason.
Ori. I still I still take my time a little bit. I still have to figure out what I'm doing, and it does take me a while. Sometimes working on the same thing just for a long extended period of time, it does get a little tiring. It does get a little quote unquote boring. I think something that helps with that is the more dynamic poses. Like when there's something I need to think about line-wise and color-wise, that kind of perks me up a little bit because now it's ooh, a challenge. But I will admit, so I may sound like I'm going back on what I said another week, because I remember another week I had said that I really liked doing the simple shots first, like the panels where it's just hands, it's just feet, and then I work up to, okay, it's just one character in this panel. Oh, it's just a headshot. Oh, it's just a body shot. Oh, it's just a lower body shot, because those are simple and easy to knock out of the way. Simple is not synonymous with enjoyable. Because it's after a while it's just the face of this one character and you're using the same colors over and over, and it's yeah, you work up a rhythm, and most of the time that's the flow I get into. It is a rhythm and it becomes relaxing after a while. But then sometimes you fall out of that rhythm and then you think about what you're doing, and it's just I have been coloring 11 Ferrix panels for the last 2 hours. I need to do something else before my brain implodes. And that's the feeling I run into the most when coloring the comic. Is just sometimes when you get to those repetitive panels, it can get a little tricky sometimes. In terms of writing, there are definitely moments where I don't know if I would call it burnout, but there are moments where I'm I have no clue how I'm going to get from one scene to the next. I know what needs to happen. I know what's eventually going to happen. But how am I going to get there? What's the connective tissue? Oh crap, I need to come up with that because that's my job. What's going to happen in between? Now I gotta plot it out. Now I gotta figure out the dialogue. Now I gotta figure out any interactions I want to have along the way.
See, guys, that's why I got a writer,
and
Mason.
it's definitely...
That's why I got a writer, because writing is hard, Mason says.
Writing is hard.
And I agree.
But it's also very fun because you're bringing your characters to life, not only through the visual medium, but also through your words and your writing. I find it really cool to bring characters to life through specific dialogue choices, because there are some things that only this character will say, and I find that really cool. That's why I enjoy writing dialogue so much. It's actually something I need to train myself out of a little bit, because now when I'm writing my fan fiction, I'm not really prioritizing the actual descriptors now. So I gotta get back into practice with that. It's not so detrimental, the fan fictions are still good, but
No, Mars, you're a comic writer now only. Yes.
No. I need variety. I need variety.
Yeah, otherwise I'll never get to draw any more book covers.
Exactly. And trust me, you'll want to draw some link click.
Oh,
I have
yes.
fan
Well, I
fiction
have to.
ideas for these boys.
I guess I have to watch that next so that I can be in the know. But also, Mars, would you be alright if Mason DM'd you sort of an idea about their comic?
Yeah, I'd absolutely be open to that. If you're comfortable with that, Mason, totally, you can DM me. I'd be happy to look it over. If you'd like me to look for something specific or you want specific advice, just let me know what it is you're looking for and I'd be happy to help out. I always love seeing what other people are coming up with because, everyone writes differently from each other. People have different ways of portraying their characters than I do, and I enjoy seeing that. So please, Mason, anyone else, feel free.
I inhaled marzipan.
Don't inhale marzipan.
It's too late. You should have warned me
bad.
earlier.
Well, I'm not psychic, sorry.
How dare you? This is part of your job description. Did you not read it?
It must have been in the fine print because I definitely didn't see that in the contract.
Well, I would say as a person, I've never experienced what I at least am led to believe is considered burnout. In the sense of that, I always want to do art. I always want to draw something. But the thing that I want to draw may change or not be what I have to draw, right? Sometimes.
Okay, there we go. Because I was like, there was definitely a period where you were like, I don't want to work on this.
Yeah, but I don't want to work on the
something
comic.
else.
But man, do I 90% of the time want to draw Mulatto and Hudson and the gang doing
Quick
some other
aside,
shit.
Ori.
Yeah.
Quick aside. Mason has requested feminine pronouns.
Oh, all right. No problem, Mason. I will try to remember. I usually default to they just because I know that everyone has different ones, and so it's like trying to remember. But I will do my best, Mason.
Yes, we both will.
Yeah,
because I also fall into the same habit. I just, if I don't know, I just default to they them.
Yeah, that's what I do because it's like I don't
built
know
up in the last couple of years.
What. And unfortunately, it doesn't come up with your name all the time.
But yeah, that's more than okay, Mason. Yeah. Please let your preferences
if anybody else ever,
Yes,
always.
Please. If we're saying your name wrong, if we're getting the pronouns wrong, please let us know. Kindly.
Yeah, don't be mean. And then
Ori, you were saying about burnout.
Yeah, so it's definitely like there's definitely times I don't want to work on the comic. And I will say there's a fair amount of time that I do force myself to work on the comic. And
well, I know this last batch has definitely
at a certain point
been.
I do get into it though. Like there's definitely like if I do, and this this may be special. I like me in a weird way. This might not work for everybody, but like if I do get into a groove, I do find that I have that occur more with art than anything else. Versus I find sometimes there's a lot of drudgery in the video editing. Sometimes that I'm just like, oh god, but I have like deadlines set for myself, right? Like this needs to be done and this needs to be done, so it is like helpful in that way.
I feel like with the video editing, it kind of harkens back to what I was talking to about the monotony, because you're just rewinding the video over and over and rewatching what you've already rewatched. Like it gets repetitive, it gets exhausting.
So the reason I also thought about this as well, besides Mason's comment earlier in the Discord, was because I had recently watched a YouTube video that was basically talking about like I can't remember what the exact wording they used was, but it was like mentally taxing tasks versus like chill tasks, I guess, right? And they equate it to like maybe sketching is very easy for you but the line art, you're very technical, it takes a lot of focus, right? Or you're not so good at coloring, it doesn't come naturally, so it really takes a lot of focus to like choose the colors and render and etc. whatever, right?
So different levels of
So
brain
different
power
levels
for
of brain
different
power,
tasks.
and that the way to be the most productive is to sort of vary those throughout your work period, right? Is that sometimes doing
I
those
see.
easy monotonous tasks is actually better for your creative mind than even taking a break, because you're not thinking about anything at all. Sometimes it is like doing something that's more of a background monotonous process does make, I mean, think about when you're like, when you have creative things, you think about like the shower, you know, you're doing the dishes or something,
Yup.
right? Like you're doing a routine task. You still have to think about
Best place
something,
for ideas and imaginative arguments.
you know, or driving, right? Where like you're still thinking like a route that you know. You're still thinking about something, but it's more of a background process, and then it can let your mind sort of wander. Versus when you're like, sometimes when you're relaxing, your brain kind of just dies, and you're not thinking about anything. And so that was like
There's
the whole...
actually some science behind that. Your brain is using different tracks
Ooh.
to send information. So when you're doing tasks that don't really require, and I'm pretty sure I'm remembering this correctly, neuroanatomy, don't fail me now, but for tasks that are a bit more on the lower side of brain power, when the signal is being sent, it makes some extra stops along the way because it doesn't need to be sent super fast. But with a more direct signal, it's going to take a more direct pathway in your brain.
Interesting.
So, less pit stops. I'm going to double check that just to be sure.
Yeah, don't give
But
us
I'm
false
pretty
info,
sure.
Mars.
Yeah, no, I would
Unprofessional.
never want to, especially anything science related, because I know y'all are nerds.
But
You
so
want
I
the
think
nerdiest of information.
what actually happens with the videos is that there's a couple processes that are both monotonous but do require like your attention, right? So I can't, when I'm doing art, right, I'm almost always listening to something else in the background. I can have something else going on, and I can be sort of healthily distracted, I guess, while doing the artwork, whatever phase of the art I'm on, you know, coloring, sketching, whatever. All of it can be done with this sort of actually paying attention to something else kind of in the background. And thus it makes it 90% of the time something more that I actually want to do than the video editing, where I am forced to both visually
you can't have
look at,
anything on in the
have
background
my hand,
during
and
that.
I can't have, like, I can have like,
Right.
I usually have like the lo-fi, like the music you guys are listening to now, on in the background, but it's not enough, right? It's not the same. And so I have to be paying attention and listening to it. And I technically don't have to do the whole process in a certain order, but there is a step that does have to be the first step, and it just complicates it to go out of order in like the process. And the first two steps are the worst, and they're the most time consuming, and they're the ones I hate the most doing. And that's going through the dialogue, going through the closed captioning sort of rendering, and cutting it up, because it doesn't render it the way that the program makes the closed captioning. It does it based on character length, the amount of characters in it. So it'll cut a word off, but it doesn't do it where it feels good in the sentence, where the sentence flows right. It's like I hit 42, or the next word is going to go over 42 characters. You know, I've cut it here. And so I have to manually go in and actually usually cut it up more or less, because I'm actually doing it for the flow of the thing. So while it has taken off effort,
and you guys see that when you see the videos.
Yeah. And while it has taken off effort where I don't have to then type it out every time. I do have to then a second pass go in and fix it, because sometimes it cuts off and it's in the middle, or it's on the side, or there's more words on it, than I need, and etc., etc. And so that is the time that I have to be listening directly to the video the entire time. But it's also incredibly monotonous. There's no creative thing happening there, right? There's no anything else, but I can't focus on something else in the background. So it makes that specific part of the process incredibly draining, and I rarely want to do it.
That's
it's rough.
Very fair. I actually used to do a little bit of video editing back in middle school, high school, just like AMVs and stuff. And I never dealt with subtitles. Oh, very much. Guys, you know this. This isn't a secret anymore. But
no, don't let her know you know that.
Oh wait, you guys don't know? Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying don't. No, I'm saying to the chat, don't let Mars know you know she's a nerd.
No, I'm saying you guys already know that.
I know. Yeah, so you never dealt with subtitles with your video editing.
There it goes. I couldn't get my door closed for some reason.
Interesting.
It's biting me. Anywho.
It doesn't like you.
Yes, I used to do AMVs, animated music videos. And my biggest thing was that with just timing the clip I wanted to the music. Like, I wanted a certain clip to happen when a certain lyric was said. And the amount of times you gotta rewind, fast forward, time it, shorten it, clip it, then oops, I clipped it too far, now I got Control Z, bring it back, try again.
Is that how it works, Mason?
It was a lot. Oh, that's exactly how it works. Well, Mason, here's the question. Am I a nerd because I'm a teacher? Or am I a teacher because I'm a nerd?
Ooh, chicken or the egg?
Chicken or the egg?
Ooh,
which one?
Which came first?
Which came first, the nerd or the teacher?
I think the nerd has to come first, because you can't be like a child and a teacher as easily.
I mean, definitely not easily, but...
Okay, Heine is an adult. He just looks like a child, okay? Like, we can't use him as an example. Schrodinger's nerd.
I got Schrodinger's nerd, exactly. I got Ori to watch The Royal Tutor.
It was very good. I enjoyed it. Definitely...
It's very cute.
It keeps, like, jarring me, the fact that it's, like, relatively recent. Right?
Yes.
Because it really feels like an old anime. Like, it really does. The style, just the vibe of all the characters.
The pacing.
Yeah, it definitely feels like an old anime.
Conflict. It's like, but it's so good.
So every time I look at it, that it's like 2019 or something, I'm almost like, wait, what? this is not right. This is like a 2000s anime, okay? Like, what are we? No.
I told you it's got those Orin vibes.
It really... God, the first episode was like basically Orin High School Host Club in new setting.
No, actually.
It was nuts.
That's why I was like, Ori.
Yeah. Hey, literally, Mars, the second you said it, it was like, well, you got me. Here we are.
I know what she likes.
Oh, she does.
But back to the video editing. Yes, I do sympathize with how much rewinding, editing, timing, just how intensive the process is.
Thankfully, there's not a lot of rewinding. And I have a point where it's like doing the actual, like, the camera moves around stuff. Like, I'm good at that. Like, it's not that big of a thing, right? It's really, I think
my favorite camera movement has to be like when you do the little when it spins off of the screen.
And it spins. That one's good. I like the wavy one when we're like, and it wavies.
Oh, that one's fun too.
I like that one a lot. But yeah, so like at least those are like a little more fun, But they still take a lot of, they still take a little more. Like, I do have to be paying attention to the sound and everything. To me, the best is the doing the clips is actually the easiest, brain-wise, because there's a significant period of time where I am just copy-pasting and then copy-pasting, like, attributes just over and over and over again. So I literally, it's very mindless. Nice. And so I can be listening to something in the background. And then there's only a short period of time relative that I actually have to be paying attention, where I have to add subtitles to places where, like, we don't put subtitles in the videos, right? Like, in the shorts, I add subtitles when we read the character lines. You know, like, I don't do that in the videos. But, so it does make it, like, a lot easier in the end. Because otherwise, I don't think I would be able to do the shorts. Because it's just a lot, you know. Otherwise, it's kind of time-consuming. But it's relatively mindless. But yeah,
that
so it's definitely
nice.
Same with, like, that's why I've hired Grenade to do the cutting of the videos, because it has the same exact problem of, you know, putting in the subtitles, where it's like you have to be listening to it, but you also have to be looking at it, and you also have to be doing everything else.
Is a lot to manage.
Versus, like, the Outcast dubs go by, like, so quick. Like, I finish them so fast. Because it's like, wow, you know, I'm actually, like, creatively doing something.
It's like, we're set to go. Off to the races.
Off to the races, indeed.
Crazy.
So I guess I have to figure out how to make it more interspersed with less brain needy tasks, but that'll slowly come.
And sometimes you need those tasks.
Yeah,
give yourself a little break.
I will admit,
because running yourself into the ground is no good either.
Was kicking my ass a little bit.
Well, to be fair, I think a lot of things, because there's something to be said for when all your projects are kicking your ass simultaneously. Ori had entry 11. She also had Turnabout Big Top to edit. Like, these required a lot of brain power.
Well, what's funny about Turnabout Big Top is that it's when we started actually getting, like, chat interaction a lot, right? We literally just had the other day that a lot of our people here in chat, like Pastry Puff and, like, you know, Enthuse and Lakitu, were like, yeah, I joined stream for Turnabout Big Top, right? Like, that's when we came in. And so you can see that we have a lot more like, chat interactions, but
yeah,
not every chat interaction makes it into the video. One, because you can't actually, you know, this is before we had the chat on screen, so you can't see the chat, and thus sometimes I don't even know what incited what we were talking about, and other times it's just like, it's not funny, you know, it's informative in, like, a really, really tangential way, where it's not like, you know, we're not saying as much on the screen, it's more like we're observing chats doing their, like, funny things, and it's just not a video thing. That's like we had this lovely chat experience during the live, but, like, it's not something for the video. And so I cut out a lot of time, but that means that I spend a significant amount of time and get less video. So it's like,
Schrodinger's
yes,
time.
I knew you came, and thus I assumed you were lurking. But I'm glad you finished your chart.
Sip of my tea.
It's
I'm
wild.
tired of cutting.
I will say, Pastry Puff, it's wild that you say favorite detective, because in my brain, it's only Gumshoe, right? You haven't met anybody else.
Nope.
That's a detective yet, so it's like,
Gumshoe is the one,
favorite?
the only.
Gumshoe. But yeah, wild for me.
Wild indeed. Still not finished, Pastry Puff? Damn. You're working hard.
Ooh. So it goes like favorite detective, favorite... Is it 6 characters, 9 characters, 8 characters? How many characters is it?
That's a lot of characters.
Ooh,
Well, we
Technically,
didn't meet him.
wait, hold on. Technically, I think I would count Jake Marshall solely because he was a detective and he still is a police officer, and he was
I would count
detective
Jake
for
Marshall.
that case.
That does count,
right? So I think Marshall and Gumshoe.
I still vote Gumshoe. He's the best.
But I guess, yeah, I guess we'll get another detective for Apollo Justice, and I guess we'll get another detective in the Great Ace Attorney. But that's kind of, we definitely have to have one in the Great Ace Attorney. Obviously, Gumshoe can't be there. But it's just wild that, like, something else. 9 slots.
Watch it be Gumshoe's ancestor, Gum Ghetto. I'm sorry, not Ghetto. Getta. That's the name of the platform, wouldn't you, right? Getta?
Oh, is it? I have no idea.
Somebody please confirm. I know I said ghetto at first, but I redeemed myself, right?
I can't answer.
I meant Getta.
Obviously, Gato is named after the shoe.
No, it's Gum Getta.
There's a funny thing, and it was like how GayJ draws Gojo versus how like Mappa draws Gojo, and it was someone like cosplay Gojo, and they're just like eyes wide open at the weird camera. They like blink one eye and then the other eye like a frog. It's like how GayJ draws Gojo, and then they were obviously doing like the very suave like glasses things for how Mappa draws Gojo.
Gojo like music teacher scene.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
good.
about, Pastry Pup, like the format. I've always wanted to do one, but it's just time. Never enough.
Time indeed.
Time
is not kind.
There's not enough time to draw all the things I want to draw.
The time. Who's got the time? God, I have 2 more pages to cut.
Oh my God, Mars.
Make it stop.
This is what working with children gets you.
Hurts. My hand hurts.
Yeah, honestly, scissors, least ergonomic tool ever.
Okay, this is weird. I really liked using scissors as a kid. If my mom needed like fabric cut or paper cut, I was there. But now I'm just like, this sucks. I don't know if my fingers got bigger. I don't know if I have the wrong kind of scissors. I don't know if I'm holding it wrong. But I'm developing calluses. Like, I can feel it rubbing against my finger, and it
I guess I know
hurts.
what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Ergonomic scissors?
Electric scissors.
Oh, snap!
Yeah. It's aging Mars. Mars is getting older with every cut.
No! You guys know how old I am. I'm not old.
When the scissors start glitching, no.
That says gliding, Ori.
Oh. Also, when the scissors start glitching, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Who's old now? You can't read.
Doesn't that make me young?
I'm
so
tomato,
young,
tomato.
I can't read.
I either could have issues with reading. I would know.
I don't know. I don't actually like the glide scissor thing at all. It gives me like nail on chalkboard vibes.
I do love gliding the scissors.
I hate
like when it just cuts so smoothly. I love doing that with wrapping paper.
Okay, see, wrapping paper,
that just makes you feel like a professional, right?
Wrapping paper, I have a special tool.
Oh.
I have a wrapping paper tool.
Guys, Ori is so fancy.
Yeah, it's purple. I like wrapping presents because I like origami, if you didn't know by the name. And so it's like fancy folding. The guillotine slicer, what about it? Do you have a guillotine slicer, Mark?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's the I forget what it's called. I know exactly what you're talking
It's
about.
literally called a
big...
guillotine.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's
That
a
can't be
paper
the word for
guillotine.
it.
Yes, it
Paper...
is. I'm gonna look it
That's
up
the
now.
name?
Yeah.
I have never heard anyone call it that.
Literally fucking guillotine paper cutter. Guillotine paper cutter.
It's not called a straight
Guillotine
edge?
trimmer. No, it's literally called a guillotine. Because it's a specific, you know, up and down one. It's called...
Yeah, it's... You line it up, and then you chop it off at
Yeah.
the bit you don't
But
want.
you
I know
make-
exactly
you
what
make
you're talking
straight
about.
lines. Yeah,
Literally,
it's called a guillotine paper cutter or trimmer. You've
no
never
one
heard
I
anyone
know.
call it that either.
Nobody.
It's
Nobody. I
literally,
feel like we
I'm
all
like
called
looking
it
at
the straight
Amazon.
edge.
Swing line paper cutter guillotine trimmer. Guillotine trimmers.
I'm
Swing
looking
line's
this
the
up.
brand.
Does this thing have multiple names?
Every single like listing says guillotine cutter on it.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, they all say guillotine cutter or trimmer.
Or paper.
This is like the real word.
Teen. Now I just gotta figure out how to spell guillotine. Okay.
Oh.
I just called it a paper cutter.
And all of the listings say guillotine paper cutter for the thing that we're talking about.
Paper cutter, paper guillotine, paper trimmer.
I'm seeing a lot that are like...
Okay. I can also... Some people are also calling it just a knife. Paper knife? That doesn't feel right, though. Paper cutters, paper cutting.
But yeah, I got one at a yard sale.
Oh, nice.
And so it's fun. Although we never had one before. We got this one at a yard
You've
sale.
never heard them call that either, Pastry Puff? Ah, I feel validated.
Yeah, a paper knife? I don't know. That sounds like a knife that is made of paper, not a knife for paper.
Paper knife just doesn't sound right.
Cammy comes from my actual name. That's where the Cammy part comes from.
You're getting some Lori tonight.
Some lorigami.
Lorigami.
But then that's led to all of
Lorigami about Lore Cammy.
My like first sort of avatar ever was called Camden. And then
do we have an overall favorite character? Pastry Puff, you know we're very biased, right?
Okay, we had this conversation with Nicole.
I know we had this conversation.
Overall favorite character ever?
Oh, ever? Well,
Paper
we're
knife is
definitely
dumb.
not deep enough into investigations for that.
Wait, are we talking about investigations or no? An Ace Attorney. Yeah, we said. I believe we said this with Nicole, where we talked about it was. It's not me, Mason.
Well, this is how we ended up with
yeah, the
vibe
and
simp.
the simp.
This is how we ended up on that tangent.
Yeah, the vibe and the simp. So for me, the answer is Phoenix as overall favorite character in Ace Attorney so far ever.
And that's where
Phoenix.
I called Ori out, going,
yeah,
liar.
But
you
I feel
mean
like
Edgeworth.
the vibe is more the favorite character, and the simp is I very, very, very much enjoy this character. I don't relate to the simp, right? I relate to the vibe, right? So that gives Phoenix.
I gotta say, I'm here for the simp. Because they gave him such a good backstory, such good character development, such good intrigue. Like, don't get me wrong, Phoenix grows, but he doesn't really have anything on that level. At least not yet. I feel like he will eventually, because I know Dad Phoenix is out there, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Hobo Phoenix.
I want Hobo Phoenix. I want Beanie Phoenix. He looks so precious.
We'll get there. Fucking guys,
Or
anytime I
Ori
go on
sends
Pinterest,
me this fan art
yeah,
of
I was about
Phoenix,
to
and
talk
it's just
about
like
it.
dad bod Phoenix, and I'm
Anytime
like, I
I
mean,
go,
yes, of
anytime I
course.
go on Pinterest, immediately the homepage gives me Ace Attorney content. 90% of the time, it's Rightworth content. And it's just like,
Yep.
how am I supposed to get any work
And it's
done
beautiful.
now? I went on Pinterest to look for references for shit, and it's just like, damn. Yeah, literally, fucking first image is Phoenix in like sports shorts and like a t-shirt, and he's worked out with like a workout towel. Like, what the fuck? Well, I can't get shit done this way, guys. It's not fair.
You're not gonna get anything done that way.
Cause now I want to click on it and I want to see where the rabbit hole goes. Is there an Edgeworth one? Nope, but it's just all fucking Rightworth now. You know, fucking moving his hair out of the way.
Oh, so good.
It's too good.
See, this is my problem. When I go on Pinterest, now I don't have any Rightworth on there yet, but I do definitely have Bashwood, Link Click, and I also have some Arthur on there that I think is left over from high school.
I gotta send you this real sussy
So I'm
Mars
just
that
like
was on my
dying.
Pinterest. This was on my Pinterest cover.
What the hell did you find? All right, give me a second. I'm putting my laminator away.
Yes.
It's done, guys. I have cut, I have pasted, I have glued. My hand is killing me. But I am done. Yay.
I also have a surprising amount of what's the game of the underworld?
Hades.
Yes, I did, Mason. This is
Oh!
I am not
That's a good shot.
Hades. Yeah, right, but like, you know what I was looking up earlier.
That's good tea. That's
Yep.
perfection. Top
Indeed.
tier. Yum.
Okay, see, now I need to stop looking at fucking Rightworth on my
Oh my
Pinterest
god,
page.
Ori, you just sent me another one.
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, and it has dialogue.
I know, so good.
Oh. Oh, smarmy Phoenix.
It's on the TV show
Yes.
Suits. I have never actually watched the TV show Suits. I have just seen, no worries, Mason. I have just seen like clips of moments from it. Live action really toes the line a lot of times of these characters are just assholes all the time, and because they're like real people, I'm less endeared to them, if I'm being completely honest.
I kind of feel the same with live action. Like, okay,
It's
please
tough.
don't come at me for this. I never got why people like The Office. I tried watching it and I was so bored.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I was like, what is the where's
There are
the
some
charm?
live action that I enjoy. There are some live action I enjoy. There is this. I only ever saw season 1.
We know Our Flag Means Death.
We like
that
Our
was
Flag Means
great.
Death. This is. I'm just talking about like TV shows right now. There was this show that I watched with my parents. It's called Blood and Treasure, and I only ever saw season 1, so I don't know if season 2 goes downhill or not. But it's basically like nerd dude. It's like Indiana Jones in a way, but like not. And basically they're just like he teams up with this, you know, femme fatale thief, and they're like going around trying to get back stolen artifacts and stuff and solve mysteries, and it's fun, it's nice, it's cool. You know, I like it. What other live action shows have I really gotten behind that I was like watching? See, shows.
Well, I believe I would be talking about the US version of The Office. I don't think I've ever seen the UK
I did
version.
enjoy
Maybe in clips.
Elementary, but it's also mystery. So like, you know, it's mystery stuff. Obviously Good Omens. Good Omens, top tier.
Good Omens was
Good Omens,
great.
top tier shit.
Okay, the two live action shows I really like. First things that come to mind. Okay, 3 because I'm watching another one right now.
It is not.
I love
Roval
Charmed.
Suits but Suits is just.
I
as
really
easily
liked Warehouse
ridiculous.
13, and then I also really like Psych.
I will say, like.
But they're all kind of mystery
teen-
shows.
Yeah, one mystery
with
show, one
supernatural
mystery-
elements.
I will
So
say
it's like
teen live action
right up my
shows
alley.
went downhill when we were aging out of them. Drake and Josh,
live
fucking
action
top tier live
Ugh.
action shit. iCarly earlier episodes, pretty decent. Victorious, I felt, started getting off the rails a little bit, and we started
Victoria's
getting into like
definitely started getting
like
weird,
the like we're
but it was
being
still
goofy, but it was still like it had its
enjoyable.
moments and its song. You know, I gotta admit, I like the sing along shit. I like being able to sing along. So you know, Victorious.
I mean,
was decent.
anytime Jade and Tori were singing a duet, I was like,
It was great.
yes, I'm
Top
here for
tier.
it. Good stuff.
But and then as we were like aging out of like we're the demographic for these shows, it just kept going downhill. I liked Henry Danger in the beginning. It fucking fell off real fast.
Yeah, that one was rough. I remember on Disney Channel, like, I was growing up with Lizzie McGuire, That's So Raven,
Hannah Montana. Yeah.
Wizards of Waverly Place. Wizards of Waverly Place
Sweet
was
Life of Zack
kind
and
of the
Cody.
Victorious, because Wizards of Waverly Place started off really good, and then as the seasons just kept going and going, it started going to weird places. I was just like, this doesn't feel right.
Some of them just got weird. See, okay, that's what's interesting. When you have like Western animation shows for like, you know, children and teens, think of Star Wars Force of Evil, Steven Universe, even Adventure Time. The early episodes are as weird as it kind of gets. Right? They're the episodes where they're like, we're being weird.
Well, they're the experimental
This is the experimental
episodes.
And then when they succeed, you get actual lore and shit. And it's like, ooh, this is good now, right? Versus, for whatever reason, when you in things like iCarly and Victorious and just the generalization, you know, shows later, it's like, oh, here's cool premise, but we can only get like one season out of this premise. So now it's just fucking off the walls. It's like, why?
I was like, why did we do this?
Oh yeah, and cartoons 100% rollable. I was a big on like the older cartoons. I loved Scooby Doo. You know, I loved
so good.
I
Watched
enjoyed the
Tom and
Smirch.
Jerry.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry. A lot of that.
Did you say the Smirch?
I accidentally, yes, the Smurfs and the Snorks. Two different things. But I did enjoy the Snorks too. I like the Snorks better than the Smurfs. But what other like? I feel like there's one more. Oh, any of like the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like the Jetsons, the Flintstones, you know,
Scooby-Doo. Like you couldn't go wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Looney Tunes was a big one. Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Couldn't get enough Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry was on all the time. Marathon that stuff. I don't think it was like it took a long time for you to start getting the same episode twice.
I have to ask, did anybody grow up with Huckleberry Hound?
Yes. Love Huckleberry Hound.
That one's like stuck in my brain for
Snagglepuss.
forever.
Oh, I love the Pink Panther. I love the Pink Panther.
My brother and I friggin' love that.
Old Tom and Jerry. Old Tom and Jerry.
Definitely old Tom and Jerry.
Long.
I'm sorry. Yeah. The timing is so good. Tom is voiced by the creator himself. Like, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. It's too good.
Stuff. Yep, Yogi Bear. Love Yogi Bear.
Yogi Bear.
Hello.
I mean, we only
guy.
reference Yogi Bear
we do
all the time.
Yeah. Hey, boo boo.
Hey, boo boo. I'm gonna steal that picnic basket.
But yeah. No, so far there's not a lot of live action that catches me.
I did not watch Ed, Edd and Eddy. I honestly,
I
didn't watch too many shows on Cartoon Network until I was a little bit older.
No,
so I never watched Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Boomerang.
I never watched Billy and Mandy.
Yep, no, didn't watch them.
I did get around in time to see Codename Kids Next Door and, of course, Original Teen Titans.
I did watch Original Teen Titans. I didn't watch Codename Kids Next Door. I saw some of the ones of like the cat dog.
That was on Nickelodeon.
Okay, that was Nickelodeon.
And it was literally called Cat Dog.
Yeah, it was called Cat Dog. I was trying to make sure I said it in the right order, basically.
Ori, what are you doing? It's Dog Cat,
yeah,
don't
really.
you know? A children's cartoon with an anthropomorphic yellow cat dressed like Robin Hood. Yellow cat.
I bet I could Google
like
Foo.
Robin Hood. Yeah, I think we need Google Foo for this one. This isn't ringing a bell. Yellow Cat.
Oh, you know, it was also good, like
I got
Dragon
nothing.
Tales.
Yeah, all the PBS shows.
Oh,
Dragon
okay.
Tales.
This is not what
Between
you're
the
looking for, but
Lions.
it reminded me Top Cat. You ever watch Top Cat?
Yes! Top Cat, he's the best of the best. Top Cat. That was a good one. Yeah, I don't know. They don't really make cartoons like they used to. And since I'm in a school, I'm seeing what some of my kiddos are into, and it's just like, you know, not to sound too old, but I'm just looking at going, what the heck is this?
Is it called Nature Cat Pastry Puff? Yeah, Mason got there.
Oh, that Mason was guessing.
Yeah. I think
Nature Cat.
I think Mason's right. I think it's
Curious
Nature
George
Cat.
was pretty good.
Curious George was good.
Cyber Chase.
Oh, fucking love Cyber Chase. No, you know what's wild? So I have two younger cousins,
That one was
right?
too good.
They're not incredibly younger than me, but they are like decently younger than me. They're within 10 years, but more than 5. Is that the math? Something like that. I think it's 8. I feel like that's the number. But the point is that
Is the mathin'?
I was old enough to like babysit them basically when they were still watching like kids shows. And so I got to watch their kids shows, which were still so good.
Hold on. I need to ask this one to Roval. Is Brandy and Mr. Whiskers the one with the dog and the rabbit that kind of looks like the prototype of Tough Puppy?
Oh, hold on.
It is. Okay, I have such vague memories of that show. Like, I know I definitely saw the character designs.
I've definitely seen the commercial. I never watched it.
I think I saw one episode in passing, and I was just like, yeah, that's not for me.
But, so, you know, like, this, not children's shows that were for Mars and I, but the kids, like, the group of kids after us, that's, like,
yeah,
Backyardigans and fucking...
Yep. Did your
Wonder
cousin
Pets?
subject you to Super Y,
Yes, Super
Word Girl,
Y!
and Word World?
Yep.
Those were my brother's big ones.
That one was
he
a big
loved
one.
those 3.
Little Einsteins.
So it's like, that was past my time, but I ended up seeing them too because my little brother.
But they were still really good. Backyardigans,
They were
fucking
really good.
goated show, guys. Like
That one's a
watch
good
it,
one.
man. Like, it's good shit. Okay, it's good stuff. Also, now I will say they're coming back around because Ghost and Molly McGee, top tier stuff. Top tier stuff.
Ghost and
Bluey,
Molly McGee,
top tier
pretty
stuff.
good.
Top
Bluey,
tier stuff.
awesome.
So we're coming back around.
You know,
Yeah,
you
no,
gotta have the good
Word Girl
eh.
and Word World holds up. I loved the like how the letters, the words like form the shape.
I gotta say,
right?
even as a
That was
kid,
cool
I thought
shit.
it was so cool that the words formed what
Yeah.
they were. I don't know why that blew my mind so hard.
Why does Molly McGee suck? It's so good. It's so fun. There's not like hella lore or shit, but like
love
it's
Molly
it's
McGee.
fun and enjoyable. What I mean,
It's so
sucked.
wholesome.
Oh, it's so good.
I think people are still salty about the Owl House, which I can't say I blame them.
Yeah, such is life, though. Move on. This is
Yeah.
we did what
Your dad
we could.
thought it was creepy looking?
That the ghost of Molly McGee
Which
is
one did your
creepy
dad
looking?
think was creepy looking? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out which one because we're talking about a lot of shows right now.
Damn,
to keep
pastry
track.
puff. Recent.
Oh wow. I remember when Arthur came to an end. That was a huge deal.
Yeah,
That was like
Arthur.
a Word World. Oh, your dad thought that one was creepy? Interesting.
The Western.
I
No,
guess
100.
it could be,
Literally,
but
yes,
man,
Roll. Yes,
that
they
theme
are
song is stuck in my
Westerns.
head forever, Mason. They really are Western isekais.
No, it
And
literally,
maybe it
literally
even
is
had
the
like
genre.
a Gynax type ending. So
Yeah, literally is the genre.
No, it's what's great is that people growing up with anime are now making shows. So we're getting
And you know what's
references,
cool
we're
though?
getting
You know what's
callbacks, and
cool
it's
though?
great.
They both have female protagonists.
Yes.
I think
And
that's
they're all interesting
technically.
characters who are allowed to be flawed and go through arcs. Thank you. They're not perfect. They're weird. They're selfish.
Yeah,
They
I don't
grow. They
find isekais
learn.
to be inherently a bad thing. There's just a
Isekais
lot
are
of
not
bad
inherently
tropes
bad. It's
tied to
just
them.
the subgenre of isekai that falls specifically into the wish fulfillment category,
Yeah.
particularly and not always, but most genuinely with the male demographic and the
Yeah.
wish fulfillment.
Yeah.
Like I know everyone keep I don't know too much about this, but I know everyone keeps talking about Mushoku Tensei and it's back and it's so good and it's up to season 2 and I'm just like all I remember about this was that he's born as a baby and he's pretty freaking horny. That doesn't sound like something I want to see.
I don't know that show, Ruffle, but I just looked it up and it looks fun.
Kappa Mikey. Ooh.
Yeah, it's like a
They
Western
are doing
cartoon
some interesting
dude
things with
in
anime.
like anime
They're
world.
not anime with cartoons now. Like there's Lego Monkey King.
Okay,
And
I'm
it's like
like
the
constantly wanting
animation
to
for
watch
that
that
is
show.
really
I'm like
interesting.
constantly because I love Journey to the West a lot. I mean, come on,
Journey to the
OSP
West is
fans
great.
probably also
I
love
watched
Journey to
Gensoman
the
and
West.
Sayuki, and that was basically Journey to the West but
And
anime.
I keep seeing like art of it, and you know, I
Also,
wanna.
Sayu voices one of the characters.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
So I'm like, I kind of want to watch it, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
We do
that's
have
also
folks who think
true.
slice of life sucks.
I think it totally just depends on your slice of life. My favorite slice of
It
lives
also
are the
depends
ones
on your preference, too.
that are like, it's not my life, right? Well,
like, I don't relate to this too much.
well,
this isn't
not even
hitting
that.
home.
Not even that. Where it's like, oh, this is like, you know, a restaurant person. I'm not a restaurant person. This is fun to, you know, watch the restaurant thing happen, right? Like, you know, well, there's one and it's like, it's not Little Witch Academia, that's a different show, but there's a slice of life and it's about like witches, and so they're like gathering ingredients and doing stuff. Like, it's cute, you know. I think basically Mr. Villain's Day Off is a slice of life, is it not?
Oh, that is 100% a slice
So it's
of
like
life.
it's a fun framing, but I'm not trying to relate in the sense of like, yes, I am Mr. Villain Man, you know, loving pandas and shit. But you know, you can have the fun moments of like, ah, yeah, work does suck. I need that work-life balance.
That one's such a good show. I'm glad it didn't go underrated last season.
Ninjago, I was never interested in, but
Ninjago
Monkey
I got
Kid
slightly interested in, but never enough to fully watch it. I do remember Martha Speaks. I never watched that one though. I always
Okay,
listened to the opening song and then I clicked away because I was like, we have Word Girl and Word World at home.
Yeah, no, I never watched Martha Speaks. It was Word Girl, Word World, Super Y, Wonder Pets, and our big one was the Backyardigans because my older of my two younger cousins' favorite stuffed animal was Pablo the Penguin from Backyardigans for years. And so it's like, yeah, guys, fucking, if you haven't seen the Backyardigans, watch it. It's so fun. It's like, well, it doesn't have parents involved. It's definitely like predecessor to Bluey, where it's like, this is all the imagination in the backyard, and you know, they have all these things, and it was just so nice.
It laid the groundwork. Such a good show.
It's definitely all the like the imagination play, you know, where it's like, oh yes, this is like, we'll make this whole treehouse like on the sea, and we're pirates, and then some of the characters are evil pirates.
Is a fantasy anime about that. I mean, I could make a joke and say Freerun, because that's the most quote-unquote slice of life / fantasy anime I've seen.
Honestly, it's fairly slice of life for fantasy. Well, let's look up.
Oh, it's so cozy.
I mean,
Watching
also
Freerun was like being wrapped up in a warm blanket.
While Dungeon Meshi is obviously not slice of life, it's definitely like getting into like this is just adventurers going through like a dungeon. Obviously they have a goal, but like 90% of the time it's like we
It's
need to
also
get
just
food
like, let's
and we need
find
to get to
something
the
to
next
eat.
level.
It's so good. Top tier.
Very funny.
We could use more visual references
Ascendance
for the
of a
mundane.
Bookworm.
Absolutely.
I think, is that the one I'm thinking of? That one, it's technically an isekai, but it is like this girl. Yeah, it is. And she like goes, I can't remember if it's back in time or into fantasy place, but she like knows how to like make like soap and stuff, and it's like, you know, like so she like teaches people how to make soap because she had like read about it, right? Like she's a bookworm in her original life, and she like reads about everything.
Ascension of a Bookworm.
Yeah, that one. So
yeah,
that might be what a good one, Roval. Ooh, interesting, Pastry Puff. Very, very interesting episode.
That's a hard lesson to teach kids too. I might seek that out just to see how they did it.
Wasn't that the plot of Dr. Stone?
It was! He taught them how to make soap!
Yeah. It is similar.
I need to catch up on Dr. Stone. I'm
but
so
this
behind.
One's a little more. One, this is a female main character, and two, it's less like nerd science stuff like Dr. Stone is. It's more like homemaking.
I have the book knowledge.
You know, like that sort of thing.
Yes, waste none after all. Always. Appreciate what the dungeon provides.
Yeah. Yes, I love Dungeon Meshi so much.
God damn it. There are so many shows I need to watch, you guys. I finally is a strong word. It just came out last season. I started watching Blue Exorcist season 3 because Ori's vibe show is Fairy Tale. My vibe show is Blue Exorcist.
It.
She did! Season 2 of Dr. Stone is really good, Mason. I watched season 2, I watched the OVA, I still have to watch season 3, and I think there's a season 4, so I'm not sure. I mean, Rovo, you could always ask. What the worst they could do is say no.
Dylan and I have actually talked at length about how to like make monster harvesting and hunting happening in campaigns as like a necessary thing.
Miss Molly is about to cook some souls and make some soul stew, so
yeah,
we're not too far off.
Well, more making it like needed, right? Like necessary. For a thing.
It's the end of the day, and you realize your stomach is growling.
Basically, his big thing was that it's like make it so that you can't have a long rest without like eating magical creatures. You know, that's what allows you to regain all your spells and your hit points and whatever, you know, like this sort of thing.
Ooh,
and so it was like, ooh,
I
yes,
like it.
Good though, you know, yes, the vibes.
Good though.
Oh, because
Absolutely.
I might be the one DMing the next campaign, and so I have like, you know, ideas of kind of what I want to do. Definitely not at the level.
I'll have to pick one character from the thousands I've been making in my head.
I mean, yeah, you'd always have to do that, but definitely
that's
not.
That's gonna be so hard.
Not at the. It won't be at the level as my last campaign was. It will not be as long.
How do I select the chosen one?
You pick one that you want Ori to draw.
As long as you don't attempt to kill us inside a mushroom again, we Gucci.
That was an accident, okay?
I know. It's just fun to tease.
Y'all were so like stone-faced about that whole encounter that I was like, oh, I guess they're doing fine. Looks at health, everyone's at like single digits. What?
It was then she realized.
Yeah.
She fucked up.
Exactly. But I realized and nobody died.
No. Guys, it is hilarious. We were so quiet during that damn fight. And what's even funnier, we're on Zoom. Not Zoom. We're on Discord.
Discord,
Like
yeah.
we're on a video call. So Ori can't see our faces. She can't see our reactions. She literally only has our voices to go on.
Yeah, and they're just like
And
they're
we're
just
saying nothing.
they get
I think
very
we're
deadpan.
processing
They
and
actually-
trying to strategize.
They actually went from
Very
like
quiet.
excitable to like deadpan, and I was like, yes, and I do this, and I was like, why are they so like blah? Like, what, is it not interesting anymore? And I'm like, I look at their like character sheets, and everyone's on like below 10 hit points, and I was like, oh, well, fuck. Whoops.
Oh my god, I'm
Dylan
gonna
is
spewing out my
is
notes.
having a lovely time in Monster Hunter right now.
Well, I think
But
what
yeah,
happened to my
100%
character is
normal.
she was being controlled.
You were being controlled, and
So I was like,
it was
what
a
do
lot
I
of stuff.
do?
Well, and nobody was trying to help you. All they had to do was
Yeah,
punch you.
Helping
Nobody
me.
was trying to
They were
help
just
you.
like, oh, she's a lost cause.
Yeah, really. Your party
I'm
just
like,
kind of
okay,
left
I
you.
guess I'm at the whim of the dice. Thanks,
But,
guys.
Hey, it worked out, okay?
It did
All
work
was
out. It
well
did
in
work
the
out.
end.
All
Oh.
was very well. It was
Guys.
very interesting having a campaign with only one female.
Guys, so we're talking about
That was hilarious.
hold on. Let me see if this happened or not. It does not. Perfect. All right. You want to see what I doodled today for Dichotomy Games?
I was about to say, do we get to see Trapinch?
No, that's in the Discord. But Dichotomy Games is like Discord. I don't even remember what they said that spurred this, but it got into talking about like brain that cannot work, like NSFW of the like homebrew races.
Oh, whoa.
And so in the end, well, it's not NSFW. Yeah, what is it? Hey, now there's enough races which need NSFW to go around. And I was like,
I mean, it's
well.
a good pose.
And so I did pin up of this little bee in Toma. And she is, now when I read the species, I thought she was a green sweet bee. But no, she's a green sweat bee.
Oh, shit.
But her hair is made of pollen. I'm sorry.
She's so adorable.
I like that. She's very cute. I enjoy it. They don't wear clothes anyway.
I would
so.
rather a sweet
Not
bee
okay.
over a sweat bee.
We say
be
oh
honest.
whoa out loud all the time, Nathan. Have you watched Ace Attorney? Dylan says oh whoa all the time. Mars says it a few times. You have
Dylan
to say
definitely
oh whoa out
has
loud.
me beat in all the times he said oh whoa. Yes, Ori was making
Yes.
tea-pets for the Outcast boys.
That's what Trapinch was.
So who was Trapinch supposed to be?
It was an attempt at Sinnet. I'll show
Oh.
Trapinch, I guess.
Because I was about to say, that's either Sinnet or Milana.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find. I think it's in Sketch. Yeah, it is in Sketch. This was an attempt. So I will say, guys.
Guys, I'm going to be right back. I just heard a really loud bang. I got to check it out
Oof.
real quick. BRB.
Let's hope Mars' house is not getting broke into. But yeah, it's some animals are easier to make tea-pet shaped than others, and this was an attempt at Sinnet. But also in the end, I will say I took the prompt in a direction that I don't think was the intended by Nicole, who recommended. But I didn't make tea-pets for the Outcast characters. I kind of made tea-pets out of the Outcast characters. So yeah, little shark. All right, let's see. I will show one more, and you can either pick another attempt at Milano or another attempt at Sinnet. Because Ferrix and Aster went real easy. You're playing the final game! Beautiful Pastry Puff. You'll get there. You'll do it. You'll get all the endings.
Okay, I am back.
What? Who died? Milano?
My brother's dresser drawer. The drawer popped out and flew onto
Oh,
the floor
goodness. Oh,
with a very
goodness.
loud bang.
Alright, well, we're gonna show one of the Milano attempts that I didn't end up going with. I think I'll show this one. This one didn't, this one because, he doesn't look much like an alligator. He looks like an armadillo.
He does look like an armadillo. A very cute armadillo.
The lying down one, Mars, is my favorite one.
The lying down one?
Yeah, he looks like a little dinosaur.
It is a very adorable face, though. Like, look at that little guy. I want to pinch his cheeks.
Yeah. No, he's a cutie, but he doesn't look
I'll
like
adopt him if he's unwanted.
I'm just telling you.
Okay, little buddy.
It is certainly...
You're beautiful. It is a
Some
challenge.
animals are more challenging than others. Like I said, Feryx, Aster came real easy. Birds, mammals, most mammals, pretty chill. Okay, the second we got into alligator, crocodilian territory, whew, rough. Shark, whew, rough.
Shark was rough.
In the end, his is okay.
But he came together. He came together. I gotta say though, looking back at Feryx, kind of reminded me of like a chibi Lion King.
Yeah,
cub.
yeah.
It's so adorable.
But the feet were very important to me, that they stuck out like that.
I love how big the feet are.
He's got big feet. He's a big
But
footed
it's
boy.
But it's so cute. He's just like, I sit now. Plop.
Well, I like it because it's like, since he has such like long legs, technically, mostly as like a collar, not as like a the animal that he actually is. It's like he couldn't really sit like a cat, all scrunched up, right? He's got big feet, so it's more fun that way.
Exactly. But sometimes it's all about the fun.
It is all about the fun. That's my method with like shading, like lighting. I gotta tell you guys, when I shade things, it's 90% vibe. I know that I'm not doing it 100% accurate to like how it would actually work, but I also specifically have chosen not to care because one, I'd rather it like look cool than worry about it too much, and two, I just don't want to have to think that hard, if I'm being honest.
That's valid. That's very valid.
I draw it so many times, I don't want to have to also then spend like double the amount of time on trying to figure out the all the shading.
Sometimes you just gotta make it easier for yourself.
Exactly.
Be kind to your brain.
So I'm very
lazy
lazy about
I was going
light
to look up
sources.
if that fact I gave earlier was actually true.
No, it's been so long.
I know. This is the moment you guys been waiting for.
But yeah, in the end, I basically, I didn't end up making them T-pets for the collars. I just made the collars T-pets. Because I don't know, adding the hair, like, made it much better somehow. Without the hair, they all looked kind of weird. But then I put their hair on it, and I was like, aw, they're so funny.
It's like, they're so cute. They're adorable. How could you not fall in love?
Sinnoh is still the tough one, though. I don't know. We might have to fix his.
Sinnoh was fighting you a little bit.
Yeah, Sinnoh fought.
Just slightly. Let's see. What folder would I have put that in?
Yeah, doing comics like is always a lot more effort than you expect. Like I recently just did like for one of the Ko-fi sets there's like one image that Mars and I were both like, oh, like we can see the lead into this image, right? And so it was like, all right,
Yes.
I want Mars to write dialogue and shit, so I'll make it like an actual comic. And it has, I think it's 6 panels. And it was definitely like, man, I could totally have way more panels, but otherwise this is never gonna get finished, and I need to just accept that this is the minimum amount of panels to convey the idea that I was going for. I need it to be done.
And, you know, sometimes that's all you need.
So, it is, I will say, it is like a cool exercise, I would even say, to try and like get an idea across in less panels than you would like, just because it is, you know, like an exercise. Oh my god, thank you.
It is a challenge.
And
but
you
it's
know,
very
when you
rewarding.
care less, I guess, is like with these, I'm not trying to make like hella backgrounds and like all this shit and like, you know, really go ham. They are just like quick and dirty. Versus like with the AUs, I definitely put a lot more effort into them because of like, these are my babies too. I wanna have them look nice so I can print them and make books for Mars. Also because the more AUs, they could go
books.
in a book with the comic. Like when the comic comes out, like they could be in the same book as the comic or like supplements, you know, that's so cool.
They could.
More content.
And it would be so cool and so pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, a comic is like way more effort than I feel like a lot of people realize. Artists and not, you know, like it's just, it's one of those things where you kind of go into it and you're like, wow, damn, this is a lot of work. And thus, animation. I'm like, yeah, damn. Whew, nope. We do little tiny things when Ori has incredible desire and motivation.
Hey, it's worked out pretty well for us.
Yep. Well, there's 2 that I really want to do that I have in the back of my head. Or is it 3? I definitely want to do the like I blank you one really bad. But then there's also like there's one where it's like draw yourself and it's to like Steven Universe audio, or it's like draw something.
Oh yeah, you told me
like,
about that
and
one.
it's like, oh, like it's like what is it? It's like, oh, I don't think I did very good or something. And then it's like, I was going more for a feeling. And then it's like, oh, I'm bad at art, but it's actually like really good. It's just a sketch. I couldn't even. And then it's like, at the end, it's like, this is just you. You drew you. You like they were supposed to draw like something. And it was like, I like me. That was Garnet. And I'm like thinking Hudson having them all like try to draw the Lemurana or something. And so I could very much see it as like Aster being like
it's drawing class.
like, I don't think I did very good. And then Ferrex, no, I think Milano being like, I was going for kind of like a feeling. And then Sidit being like, oh, I'm so bad. And he actually has like pretty decent technical drawing skills. Yeah. And then Ferrex, you're like, Ferrex, this is just you. And it's like, I like me.
I like me.
I like me. I would love that ability, Pager Puff. That would be, if I had to have like a superhero, like a superhero ability that wasn't specifically like to be fighting crime, that'd be up there. You know, if I couldn't have like one of the really epic ones, right? Because if you could fight crime feasibly with it, like you would be better, you would have to or something, right? Because obviously top tier power is teleportation. Okay, like go anywhere, do anything. Travel time is such a bitch. I never have to get up early for work. No matter where my work is, just boop, there, boop, the store, boop, you know, who cares? Great. But
that would be
I could
amazing.
fight crime with that, right? Like I could be more effective at fighting crime, right? So if I had to have a superpower where it would not affect my ability to fight crime, I think literally being able to take the image in your head and make it an image would be pretty neat.
I think that'd be really cool. I'm here for it.
Would be pretty neat.
If only it were that simple, though, Pastry Puff, because then every music video I've ever created in my head would just exist.
Yeah, don't get me started on
And it'd be
the
nice.
cool animatics that I want.
Like, I gotta be honest, I'm pretty sure I think in animation.
Oh, I 100% think in animation. The comic is made with Ori thinking in animation.
Which explains a lot.
It explains why Ferrex needs like 8 fucking panels at any given moment. It also explains why Milano needs like half of them.
Ferrex needs 8 panels to say hello.
Yeah, Milano needs 5.
Hair toss,
Exactly,
flip,
Pastry Puff.
lift hand, smile,
just like-
hi!
To me, Milano like walks around you a lot, right? Milano is definitely, he's not sitting
Oh, he's a
still,
pacer.
but he's like circling you, right? Not in like a menacing way, like he's not trying to menace
But he
you
is a
purposefully,
predator.
But like, you know, other people might take it wrong, but that's not his intention, right? He's just like, I literally can't sit still.
That's
I
not
think
his
by
fault.
walking around, you know, and like moving around. And same with, you know, Ferrex is the I can't sit in his chair properly kind of character. So, you know, no matter what he's doing, he's not standing, sitting, existing in the quote unquote normal person way. So it just makes life difficult. But yeah, Pastry Puff, literally like 90% of the songs that I like listen to in my playlist are just like, I could make a good Outcast animatic out of this, or this is like a good Outcast song. You know, one of the things I really want to do, I really, really want to make like, I guess sort of, I would call it like a template for the band AU, where it's like Ferrex playing the drums and like Milano playing the guitar and everything, and then I could put it to the songs that we like think is in their set list, but I could like set it up
amazing.
so that it's like, okay, I animate Ferrex from like, you know, neutral hitting every drum, right? So then I could like line it up with the drums and the song like that. That's idea. Don't we all want to make an animatic? I think everybody in this chat would love to make an animatic, yeah. I don't think everybody in the world is interested in animatics.
Probably not everyone in the world, but
I learned Dylan thinks most AUs like being a thing are cringe.
How dare.
I know.
Betrayal.
Betrayal indeed. Not all of them, you know, he did make a general statement the first time, but I was like, what? What do you mean?
And then he backtracked.
Motivation indeed. I find the problem that I have with like animatics and animated stuff is if I can't finish it relatively quickly, you know, it used to be in one session, but I will say the pencil meme, I was just kind of ambitious and motivated because the first part like came out so well. I was like, okay, like Ori, you can do this. And I definitely did some bad choices that I had to like backtrack and fix in like just the way I was doing it. But I learned a lot, so I'm pretty happy in the end.
Bad choices. Nah.
Yeah, I made like in how I was animating, I had you never saw them because that's not the published version. I had to stop and do it a different way. But like same the Milano like the hair holds memories, you know, thing where he like flips around. That was all done in one session. And I don't think I would have had the motivation for that if I didn't finish it literally in like, this is my free time is all this and this is what I did and nothing else. Because sometimes it's like, I'm really motivated right now to do it, but if I stop, I'll never come back to it.
I feel that.
I do that with anime sometimes too, or any shows. It's like, oh, it's really good in the moment, but then I just, I stop because like I don't have the time to binge fucking, you know, however many episodes, and then I never pick it up
And then you just
again.
never return. That originally happened to me with The Royal Tutor. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah?
started it when it first came out, and I got 3 episodes in, and then, I don't know, I guess I just got distracted by life or something. because I never returned to it. And then, this year when I got sick this season, I was like, this seems chill. And this was in my on hold / drop list on my anime list. Let's see what this was all about. And I was like, what the hell did I drop this back then? It's so cute. It's so goofy. It's so fun.
Yep. Loved it.
The princes are amazing.
The princes are great. I love Haina. I love when Haina's like, Kai, smile like this. Proceeds to not smile.
Like, okay, we'll work on that.
Yeah, maybe Haina, you also need to learn how to smile. But very fun.
I have to ask, because I have delved into the fandom side of the Royal Tutor.
I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to ask, but I'm curious.
I know what I'm going to ask. Do you ship Hein and Victor?
Okay, so when I see the backstory, it's definitely like at that point in time, yeah, I mean, come on. Like, who doesn't? But I do feel like at this point, they are like just friends, I don't know. It feels like they grew up and kind of moved on and they did their own things and they're just bros. But like, yeah, in the backstory, it is like, damn. All
in
right.
the backstory, it's like, okay.
I literally had to like, do I ship them? Do I ship them?
When I had to, where I was like, do I ship the tall prince with the very short man? The very short homeless man?
Do I ship them? And it's like, yes, at this point in their life, I do ship them. But I do think they kind of grew up and grew apart in that regard. But obviously, they're still bros,
I can see that.
Because it's like, yeah, I ship young them, but adult them is like, I don't know. It doesn't hit the same.
They just moved off into their own direction.
Yeah. It definitely doesn't hit the same. But they're still good bros.
And we got the princes.
Yeah, they can collectively share the sons, okay?
Yeah.
They don't have to be dating to have sons together.
Sometimes a family can be a king, his 4 princes, and their tutor.
Yeah, fuck the other prince though. He can go away.
Screw the first prince, he's a dick.
I do like that they show that it was kind of the other dude's thing the whole time though.
It was the first prince's advisor, like pulling all the strings, and then the first prince was like, "What the hell?
Like, dude, bitch, I didn't say do this
on
for
my
me.
Own merit. If anyone's gonna fuck shit up, it'll be me."
Yeah, literally, back the fuck up, dude. I like to do my own fucking up. Thank you.
Pastry Puff, I kind of feel that, like. Because it was just so easy to read at school. Like, I had a book with me and just pull it out of my backpack, read a couple minutes before class, maybe like during a break or something.
Oh, such the vibe.
At home.
Anyone like read under the desk? Like,
yes,
like I'm not hiding my phone. I'm hiding a fucking book.
No. Guys, I have a story. I think it was 4th grade. I got in trouble because I was reading too much. My teacher actually told my parents, your daughter is reading too much. And to be fair, I was reading during math class. But in my defense, nothing made sense.
Okay.
So I thought I'd spend my time doing something productive.
I actually had...
And I got in trouble.
I had the cool sort of opposite experience with math class in high school. 3 out of my 4 years of high school, so 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, I had the same math teacher. And I was so happy. I loved him so much. He was fantastic. Favorite math teacher of all time. And he was great. I was so happy that I got him all 3 years. Because that was, like, special. Like, he didn't always teach 11th grade, and he taught it that year, and I was just so happy.
You got the luck of the draw.
Oh, I was so lucky. I was like, Mom, like, you have to make sure that, like, I'm in this, like, if my schedule doesn't say this, like, we're being the parents that are, like, switching. Like, I want this teacher so bad. But, thankfully, never had to happen. I got him. And so,
Yay.
point is that I was very good at math. I got math. Math is a subject I enjoy and was, naturally good at. So when I would sit at the front of the class, but there was many times when it looks like I'm not paying attention. But after like the first couple weeks of like class and then like, you know, getting an exam back, the teacher, he like knew right away that's like, nah, she's paying attention, but in like, you know, like a you need to do something else at the same time kind of way. That's the kind of person I was. Like, I'm making origami and shit. Like, you know, that literally what I said before. Like, you're doing something mindless while you're doing something else that is taking your
I gotta keep my hands busy in order to pay attention.
So I couldn't read or anything, but definitely most teachers be like, you can't doodle in the margin, stop making origami or whatever. And he was just so chill because he realized it's like, nope, he could call me at any time and I'd have the right answer because I was paying attention when it counted. Or I would only be doing it after I already, like, oh, here's the problem on the board, do it. You know, I would do it and then, you know, be waiting around for everybody else to finish. So it's like, I'm doing something else. But epic teacher. Epic thing.
Nice.
No, I was the kid who read secretly at night. Right?
I did that too.
I thankfully, to my knowledge, there isn't any conclusive evidence that like weird light shit like this fucks up your eyes actually, but I never had like a true flashlight to read my books. And, you know, there's definitely a couple times when like I had a book light, you know, for like just reading at night, not for reading secretly. But then I would thus read secretly. But I had gone to a museum, and at the museum gift shop, I got this little keychain that has like flashing, like, they weren't necessarily flashing, but like rotating, like rainbow kind of like disco ball-esque lights, right? It wasn't like a solid colored light. It was like a party light, okay? But I don't remember why, but for whatever reason, at a certain point in time, that was the only thing I had to read books at night. So I'm reading a book as this like disco light is like flashing like on the book pages in like red and green and shit. And I was like, I don't even know how I did that. But I needed to
party
read the
under
book.
here.
I needed to read the book. It was important.
It's like, I must.
I must indeed.
I must read. Reading under the covers and then also playing my DS under the covers. Because I had Nintendogs. And if I didn't feed my Nintendogs, then they would be sad, and then I would be sad. Okay, biggest thing with that was that, okay, this didn't happen often, but there were times when I did indeed get grounded because, you know, little brothers and older sisters, they fight sometimes. It happens. It's life. And my DS got taken away. I knew where my mom kept it, though. So when I came home from school, I'd sneak into her room, slide my DS out from where she hid it, and I'd quickly open it so I could feed and walk my Nintendogs because I was so worried about them. That's saying something, guys. I got emotionally attached to a bunch of pixels.
Hey,
I think that's where all the problems started.
Nah. No, I was like, mostly my mom, but you know, my parents were pretty like strict and steadfast about like you don't get electronics in your room at bedtime because they wanted me to go to bed, right? Like they didn't want me to be the kid
ideally
staying up, right, and doing stuff or whatever. That's why I did the reading, because they couldn't remove the books.
It's not an electronic.
And then I'm like hiding the like little lighting implement, right? To be like, oh, we're hiding it because they're smaller than like a DS or something. But I do remember that at a certain point in time, I had multiple like handheld games, right? Like I had the Game Boy, I had the Game Boy Advance, and then I also had a DS. And so while my mom would take the DS out of the room, she would forget about the Game Boy because I wouldn't play the Game Boy during the day, right? Like she never saw me with it, so she had forgotten its existence. So I remember playing the Game Boy Advanced games at night because I could, because the DS was away. I remember that a lot.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Because they kind of, blended together in her mind, right? And if I never played it, like, during the waking hours, it was like, she didn't know, she couldn't remember it existed. I was like, oh, yes.
See, I only had the DS. I never had a Game Boy, never had a Game Boy Advance. It was just the DS, and then later on the 3DS for me. But yeah, I definitely snuck it a couple
Yeah, I
times.
got the Game Boy Advance for Christmas one year. And it turned my parents were actually both like fairly like gamer people for like the early games, like playing like F-Zero and shit, like not
Yeah,
like my father played like Doom and all that sort of stuff, right? So it was like definitely
my
like
folks
early
too.
game stuff. So I didn't have I don't have any siblings, so like I didn't have anyone to be like, oh, here, play these games or something like that. So at one point I never asked for it, I don't think, but my like one Christmas it was like the present was I got a Game Boy Advance and a bunch of games to go with it, like everyone was coordinated, right? That like the family would get me different games, and I got the Game Boy Advance.
All
And so
planned out.
that was the beginning of it all. But I also then inherited my mother's original Game Boy and all of her games. So I have, and that's the only handheld device that comes in different colors that is not the same as my other ones. Because my Game Boy Advance, pearlescent pink. DS, pearlescent pink. 3DS, pearlescent pink. Game Boy, it was inherited, so it's just red. But yeah, and then I figured out that you could shove the original Game Boy games into the Game Boy Advance. They just stick out.
Yes,
right?
you can.
And they stick out. But I was so upset when you can shove Game Boy Advance games into the DS, but you can't shove original Game Boy games into the DS. They're too big. And it's just like, no.
Backwards compatibility lost.
I will say, as a company, Nintendo did pretty well for a long time on backwards compatibility.
They did better than most.
The Switch is like the first
definitely
one
acknowledge
that is not backwards compatible with anything. Because the Wii U, you could play Wii games on, and the Wii you could play GameCube games on. They only go back 1 year, but like one iteration, but still, if you collect them all, I could play all the games.
We're talking about games and sneaking them under the cover of night, and books, sneaking those under the cover of night. Hello,
Yes,
Jamie.
Sneaking everything.
Welcome.
Hello, Jamie.
Sorry for the heart attack earlier. I can't remember if that was today or yesterday.
I think it was yesterday. Did I? I don't remember.
I know I read that comment sometime. I just can't
Sneaking
remember.
and theft? I think you read it today. But
well, not theft, Jamie, just sneaking.
Yeah, there's no stealing away,
Stealing away. That's
stealing
different
time.
from theft.
It's a type
We're stealing
of
time, not things. Very different.
Yeah. Stealing concepts.
Yes, the attempted murder via staircase yesterday.
It was
okay, that's what I thought.
Murder. If I had no way of knowing you were on a staircase and what would happen, okay? It's not my fault.
In the future, we do recommend consulting the Ko-fi on solid flooring.
Yes. Or a boat.
Highly advisable.
Boat is fine, if you're in a boat or in an airplane. But I don't think that
Yeah, you know what? There are people around. Show them too. Get them into Outcast.
Yeah.
You never know. Sometimes NSFW art gets people to check out the real thing.
Literally, I'm like, there's so many like Instagram artists that post like teasers on their Instagram for like the NSFW stuff, because one, you're not supposed to post any actual NSFW on Instagram, and 2, because they
Technically.
want your money. Okay, I get it, but I know that my mother is on my Instagram, and while I will say life has gotten a bit more sus as an adult, so she's definitely like chill, there's still like a level of like, I don't know if I want her to see even the thought of Hudson being tied up with neckties or something, like, I don't know.
I know I would definitely die if my parents read any of the stuff I wrote.
I will say my mom does.
I mean, because one, some NSW, and also 2, most of it's gay, so we're not gonna touch that. Not with a 10-foot pole.
It's a very odd situation, Jamie, and the reason that I say this is because she definitely makes like more innuendo like jokes and comments now that I'm an adult, and with Dylan and everything.
It's
so
kind of a nice rite of passage.
That it's like
but
your
parents are actually
like
open
little,
with you.
Like I always have a moment where like, oh wow, yeah, that came out of your mouth. Okay, this is like a oh. So it's definitely a little like, I don't think that I could do it. I'm always a little hesitant. I'm always hesitant. just hesitant.
Oh god, I could never play Cards Against Humanity with my grandparents.
Yeah, no.
Definitely can't do that.
It was definitely like it's more just like that was never, same with like cursing, right? That was something my parents didn't do in front of me, right? That's like a child, they don't do these things. So it wasn't until like, also there's also the chance that I'm just really fucking ace and I didn't notice it until more recently, but it is just definitely like a weird coming into it versus
the
like
corruption is slow
when
and
I
subtle.
first met Dylan's family, and I like the first time I had dinner with them at their house, right? This is in high school, and like still my parents were like, I hadn't started cursing yet, but my and so neither had my parents really, but Dylan and Doug and their father at the table F-bombed, all the time, just fuck shit all the time, like the whole conversation, and it was just like a wild like, wow, if this is the like if I had this sort of conversation with my parents, this would be not okay. So it is just definitely like a how you grew up, just what you're ready with.
Definitely can come down to that. My parents go to pseudo curse word because like with my brother and me around, my parents couldn't curse, so we had some pseudo curse words in their place, like stuff you would shout instead of the actual curse.
Mm-hmm.
And our favorite one to use was "son of a monkey muffin." That was our go-to. If anything went wrong in the next room, like you hear a bang and then all of a sudden, "son of a monkey muffin!"
Jesus Christ.
It's like the funniest thing.
I think my favorite sort of interaction with pseudo cursors was actually when my mother flubbed it real bad. And I think I was playing We Play Tanks with my father on the Wii. And I'm pretty sure that what happened was my dad said crap on a cracker or something like that. And my mom was like, she was like, Dory, you can't say that. I'm like in middle school or something. She's like, Dory, you can't say that in front of Ori. You have to say, and what she wanted to say was crud on a cracker. Right, like that's what she wanted to say. But she actually said crud on a crapper. And my father just burst out laughing hysterically that she flubbed it so hard.
She made it worse.
She made it worse. Yeah. Oh, so funny.
Crap on a cracker is actually pretty big around here. You'll even see it in like TV shows. Yeah. They'll say it.
But that one to try and like kidify it, she just fucked up so bad. Oh, that one always gets me.
I've definitely gotten a lot more loose-lipped recently. Like, especially now that my brother's a little older, but I still try to watch myself around him. And sometimes it just comes out of my mouth. Like, I'll say shit. I'm like, oh, I can't say that. So then for some reason, my brain runs down all the different ones. And like, this is the exact order it always happens in. First, I say shit. Then trying to correct it, I say shot. And then finally, I end up on shoot. So every time, the pattern is shit, shot, shoot. Like, every time. Like, when did this become habit? I don't know. The things
You've
we
made it
do to
worse for
preserve our
yourself.
loved ones' innocent ears.
I think what's really funny for me is that my job, like my field of work, always works with a lot of, you know, like people who are doing manual labor, right? And so they're obviously not like office, you know, levels of like you know, decorum and stuff. You know, they're not trying to be like, you know, chill and not chill. They are very chill actually. They're not trying to be like, you know, stuffy office workers. You know, they're not trying to have like, you know, no interaction. They're always very chatty. You know, they're always very friendly with each other. You know, it's all this sort of stuff. So they curse a lot. And I'm fine with that. I don't really care. But I don't think I could ever. You know, it's just very how I was raised in, like, this is your job. This is like work environment, right? This is where you do work. You are respectful. You don't curse like that, right?
You
so
don't
even
curse
though it's
here.
like, no, they're constantly saying like fuck and, you know, shit and like yelling at each other and, you know, in like joking ways and like all this sort of stuff. But it's definitely like, I don't think I could ever. It's just not in me to do that. Versus, you know, his attorney fucking all the time, right now, all the time, you know. And Dylan likes to credit himself with being my downfall. And he definitely had a part in it, but I wouldn't call him the only thing. Honestly, to me, it was college. Being in like an
College
environment
definitely
where
helped.
only in class you didn't have to be that, right? But like in the dorms, like I was never with my parents, right? I always hold back with my parents. I try not to curse. I will say it slips out a little more now, and I was like, oh no, because my mom is still like, fuck is definitely like a word that they just don't like.
A big
overall.
one.
That's a big one. Versus like to me, that's like the word. it's so easy. But yeah. You know, well, college is a whole, you know, different
College is
beast,
a different ball game.
right? College is a different beast. I personally am just like, no, this is a classroom. I'm not cursing, you know, to the teacher or anything like that. But
Oh
like,
God, no.
yeah, exactly. Like, there's a level of respect there. But like, you know, literally all the rest of the time, you know, it's like all bets are off. You know, there's no. I don't need to censor myself anymore. And I will say, I said fuck a lot more in college than I even do now. It was definitely, I've toned it back down. Definitely a case of that, like, you have freedom and then you like go a little overboard and then you settle back down.
And you relax again.
But you know what? I think my parents would be proud that the only overboard and freedom I did was I started cursing.
Yeah, not too big on parties. Even when I did arrive at college, I was like, I don't really need that in my life.
Oh yeah.
I'm okay
no,
without. I'll live.
There's a JV says that their professor one day said the technical term for these is big ass walls, and that reminded me of I'm pretty sure it was in my ecology class. We're learning about atolls, okay, and that is a specific like island formation thing, and you know, it's like a whole thing, and it's like the Bikini Atoll, but obviously
not
if
Ace
you
Attorney
don't
Bikini.
no Bikini the place, like Bikini Bottom is at Bikini, but yeah, atolls, yeah, but if you say it with much more leisure, it very much sounds like asshole. The Bikini asshole. and so
We're so mature, you guys.
well, so the professor obviously trying to nip this in the bud, and he was a funny professor in the sense of that he wasn't funny like he was very deadpan, but not in like a actual, not like Mr. Mo, right? But like in a very like he didn't want to be there doing that or teaching that. He was like, we just go on. But he's like, oh yeah, the Bikini Atoll, it's not asshole, don't even. He just kept moving on. And it was like, then pronounce it better, man, because he really made it sound like he kept saying asshole. We're all like, did he just
like,
say the bikini
help
asshole?
me help you
What?
by
It's
saying
like,
it
what?
not that way.
Yeah, no, Jamie, I had this one teacher, and it was in high school, and it was for physics. And sadly, he stopped teaching. You know, he was no longer teaching there after I had him. But he was very deadpan, but he was also incredibly sarcastic. And it made him really, really fucking epic. Because once you understood, right, how to interact with this guy, he was hilarious. Right? He was nuts. But you really had to know whether he was joking or not, because the tone was always the same, right? You could be sarcastic and you can have a real sarcastic tone on there, right? But he was just, no, everything was said the same way. So you're kind of playing this game. It's like, oh god, wait, is he serious or not? And then, you know, by the end of the year, it's like, oh, okay, we know what's up.
Gotta puzzle it out.
Yeah, that's also a vibe, Mason. You come back around to being funny. It's like the movies that are, it's so bad, it's good.
Too good, in fact.
Yeah. Like watching Morbius.
Yeah, it was
with
Morbius.
friends. I wanted to
think
say
that was
Mobius.
fun with the right crowd.
It was fun with friends, 100%.
I don't think I would have enjoyed it on my own, but definitely with friends to make fun of it, it was fun.
Yeah. It's a bad movie.
It's definitely bad.
It's a bad movie. And it's so sad, because I really want it to be good, because I like vampires and shit, right?
The premise was great. And the first half of the movie was honestly
and it has,
pretty
what's his name,
decent.
who's one of the doctors? You know, like, come on.
But then it went off the rails into Cuckoo Town.
And just stopped making sense. It was
exactly
just a lot of oof in the end.
It's like, oof, you did not stick that landing.
Yeah, not at all.
Ouch. I've never seen a worse crash. I'm trying to think of other movies that are so bad they're good that I like watching with people.
The first Dune, the original Dune.
I've never watched the original
it's
Dune.
So horrific.
Oh,
it's so horrible.
That bad?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Maybe I'll watch that one. At least I'll feel something.
Like CGI is so, it's so bad.
I'd rather think something's bad than boring.
It's so bad.
I could talk about something that's
People
bad.
really
I can't talk
Dune
about something
2,
that's
Mars,
boring.
Yeah, exactly, Jamie. Exactly.
No, literally,
it could
Jamie.
Have been so good. Ooh,
oh, Sharknado! I forgot about that one.
Yeah, any of the Sharknados.
Okay, Mason, I remember when those movies were coming out, like either every 2 years, every year.
I remember when they were coming out.
That was a thing, and now I barely remember it. That's wild.
It's been shunted from your mind.
No, my dad and I were so into the Sharknado movies. Like, we watched the first one together. We thought it was so stupid and so much fun. And when we found out they were coming out with a 2, then we found out they were coming out with 3, and that became like our yearly thing. Because they always did a marathon leading up to the new movie. So my dad and I were like, it's Sharknado Day! We gotta buy the popcorn! We gotta buy the movie candy! Let's go! Yes, Jamie, always look at teapots.
Look at all the
But yeah,
teapots.
Sharknado was a big thing for me and my dad. Not so much my mom. She definitely thought it was so stupid it's stupid. Which, I don't blame her. It's definitely stupid. But it's very fun. I still stand by the scene in the third movie where the shark is at the freaking roller coaster at the park. And it lands on the roller coaster and it just starts sliding, like it goes down the hill, then it slides back because it didn't get enough momentum, but then it gets enough momentum and it goes around the loop and then they go flying off and just fly over the billboard. That scene cracks me up every damn time. It's
My
just so
goodness.
stupid. It's so good. Ooh, a shape reference.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
the
go
teapot.
get some references, Jamie. Look at teapots. That's always a productive thing. Some lovely teapots. Ori made some lovely teapots today.
Oh, that's what
Outcast
they're for.
teapots.
A teapot.
Exactly. Pets live in teapots. Oh, to be a teapot living in a little teapot.
Is that all you want in
want-
life?
Yes, I want to live in a teapot. Let me sleep in a little teapot. Nice
I'm a
and
little
warm.
Teapot, short and stout.
Oh, I'm the little mouse from Alice in Wonderland who's constantly sleepy.
Twinkle, little
Twinkle,
bat.
little star.
No, it's bat.
Oh, he does say bat. You're right.
Yeah.
Bat.
How I wonder where you're at.
That's the most important piece of evidence we've heard
It's okay,
yet.
Jamie. I know you didn't. You definitely didn't forget. You had to do more research, obviously.
Of course.
The mouse is your spirit animal, yeah.
That mouse is relatable as hell. I'm looking at that thing, PCM. It's a cute little thing.
I like I don't even remember what I was at. I was at something and we constantly made the joke of the move down, move down, move down, new cop, move down, move down. I can't remember what I was at.
Do that at one of your birthdays or something?
No, I could swear it was a college
That
thing.
sounds familiar.
Maybe that was it. Maybe
That
it was
sounds
at my
so
18th
I feel like
birthday or
we
something.
did that.
Yeah, but that was the we just kept making that joke and it was just like
New cup.
new cup, move
Oh
down,
no,
move
clean
down,
cup,
move down.
clean cup.
Yeah.
That was it. Clean cup, move down, clean cup, move down.
Yep.
Don't sue us, Disney.
They can't. We're singing it.
Good.
Good.
Good. Okay, I have been getting so much Wish, like the new Disney movie Wish content in my feed.
Really?
And literally all of it is just
Dang.
people talking about how this movie could have been better, how the
everyone's so
villain is like actually
disappointed.
the hero. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh my
Because
god,
imagine if
people are
everyone got
so
their
worked up
wish.
about this movie.
People are so upset, and I think it just hits harder because it was supposed to be like a celebration, you know, of Disney, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like an anniversary
100
film.
years.
Yeah, 100 years, right? So it's
100
supposed to
frickin'
be
years.
this like
What a note.
it was supposed to be like this is what Disney has culminated to over 100 years, but it
Yeah.
really just felt like we kind of need a story so that we can put all these references in here, like shoehorned in there, and just like, you know, this is a story.
That's my
They don't care.
understanding of it.
And so it's just like it's like Rise from the Ashes, where it's like it could have been so good.
It's like, you guys
But it's
were
disappointing.
so close. Also, how dare you rob us of a villain couple? Like, god damn it.
And it's Chris
Coulda had some
Pine,
really
and
good
it's so
shit.
sad.
And Chris Pine can sing.
Yes,
He would have been a good musical villain. He could have sang. Just give him a song that doesn't sound so upbeat. Give him a Be Prepared. He would have killed it.
Give me agony, and it cuts like a knife. I love that song. so
Honestly,
much.
no. That would have been a better villain song
So
than This Is
good.
the Thanks I Get.
When she
Actually,
steps
would have been a
behind,
much
when
better
she's 10 feet
song.
below, and she
At least
just
it's a goddamn
agrees.
musical sounding song.
Agony, misery, heartache, more painful than yours. I listen to that all the time.
Okay, no, literally, that would have fit the villain so much
Yeah.
better as his villain song.
I love Agony is my favorite
No
Into the
joke.
Woods song by far.
My favorite Into the Woods song, such a toss-up between Last
Damn,
Midnight
Mr. Puff, you gotta link that.
and Children Will Listen. Love that one. That one makes me cry. Not
Last
the movie,
midnight.
the original Broadway cast.
Yeah. No, I love both Agonies, because I will say, one, it's Chris Pine singing, and two, he's very funny. Like, they're very funny individuals. If you
He was
literally
great
just
in the Dungeons
watch,
and Dragons movie.
he was. Oh, literally, I
killed
was
it.
only interested in watching the Dungeons and Dragons movie because it has Chris Pine as a bard, and I was like, yes, this is what I needed in life.
The star thing was so useless.
Yeah,
And
it
the
was
magic was
literally
so
just
limited. It brought animals to life and plants to life. Like, woohoo. Magical.
the little star thing is, everyone's also like, it was just for plushies.
Yeah, no,
And it's like,
actually.
yeah, like there's like, okay, there's a level
Cut
where it's like,
the stupid goat. That
Yeah.
did not need to exist.
but it's like, there's a level where it's like, I can understand that this character was made with merchandising in mind, and I can accept
Yeah.
that animation is very expensive and you make your money back on merch. I understand. I want
Yeah.
merch. Good times.
We want merch. We buy
But-
figures all the time.
But when a character is so obviously, explicitly made to solely sell merch and nothing else, now we have a problem.
You know where I had felt that the hardest the first time? Was in Raya and the Last Dragon. Like, the concept art for Sisu looks friggin' amazing. She looks like an actual dragon. But then the movie, they commit to this, like, pseudo plush horse face, like pony face kind of cross. And it's like, oh, that's meant to sell toys. Like, that's not there to be a dragon. That's not there to be a character. That's there to sell toys. It's like,
Yeah,
oof.
no. What did I saw it in Moana's
See, Mason,
pig friend.
I gotta give Groot a pass because I don't know if Baby Groot was, but definitely original Groot looked that way in the comics.
Yeah, Baby Groot.
So
I think
Groot I'd
is
give a
true to
pass.
form. Actually, I think younger.
Olaf,
is still true
Grogu,
to
and
form.
Minions are original ideas from what I can tell. Minions absolutely 100% designed to
but-
sell merch. I mean, look around.
Minions are designed to sell merch. However, and I'm not talking about any of the rest of the content, in the Despicable Me movie, they play an important role when they give him their money to fund his whole thing. Like, it's such a family moment, right? Like, they're funny, they're goofy, but they have meaning, you know? Now, could it have been played by actual humans? Yeah. Are they designed that way and make the bleep bloop noises because they're supposed to be goofy and funny? 100%. But they still have meaning. Olaf,
They're definitely
again,
going for a Looney Tunes vibe with the Minions. And
Still-
they accomplish that.
Olaf, again, still has meaning, right? Still
Well, Olaf
has...
serves as the connection between Anna and Elsa.
Yeah, the original thing,
He
how
literally
goofy
brings
he is.
Anna to Elsa.
He has that whole moment where
Reestablishing their connection.
some people are worth melting for. Like, he has substance, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah, exactly. Things as characters. Grogu, I find Grogu more of a mulligan, a MacGuffin, in a way, actually.
MacGuffin.
He's a funny little dude.
He's a MacGuffin
but
and a
he
plot
is
device.
The thing
He gets things rolling.
that makes, the Mandalorian happen, right, with the Mandalorian. He doesn't play a hell of a role, but him being like a child and thus putting Mando in like this dad bounty hunter position is really good. So it doesn't feel like Grogu is here doing literally nothing to the plot, right? Versus, I don't even remember its name, but the pig in Moana literally has like,
Hua.
yeah, there you go.
But here's what they do with the pig. He's in the first half, and then they leave him on the island for the rest of
Yeah.
the movie, and you literally don't see him
Yeah, you
until
don't have
she
to
comes
interact
back
with
home.
him. But the point is that he's obviously just there to give her like a cute animal friend instead of the chicken
Even
who
though
has
we
the
have
funny
the
one.
chicken.
Yeah, but he's not cute plushy material, right? He's funny, goofy, this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
But like, if we had to go that route, just abandon the animal on the island. Like, All right, fine. You want to make
Exactly,
the
pastry puff.
argument that Starboy brings things
Yeah,
to
Hey
life
Hey
and makes
does
all the
do
magic
stuff.
happen. Okay, fine. Why did the goat need to be along? Like, the star is the sidekick. We don't need the goat. Leave the goat at home. We don't need the goat.
But yeah.
Exactly, Jamie. They didn't try to force it.
No,
They
and like
introduced it and then they left it at
they
home.
get one joke where she talks about eating pork and the pig makes a glare at her, and then we never see the pig again.
Yeah, and it's like one and done.
But
Quick, painless, simple.
yeah.
And then, don't
Yeah,
get me started
I
on
don't
the
think
characters
Pua
representing the 7 dwarfs in
is
Wish.
the worst thing. Yeah, that was. I heard about
What
that.
a waste
Nicole!
of characters. Hey, Nicole.
No, Pua is definitely not the most egregious, but it is definitely at the point where it's like you can tell that this character only existed because they wanted her to have a cute, animal companion,
Yeah. And he did it well.
I guess.
He did it well.
I don't know if I would count, though, that the fact that they're just hanging out while, Pua did almost died, but I feel like that should have led then into,
I feel like Moana could have realized that on her own because she was there too. It's like,
or
holy
it
shit,
literally
I
could have
almost
been
just
Hey Hey,
died.
right? Like imagine Hey Hey like climbed onto a boat, goofily chicken style, and so she goes to like say, and it starts floating out to sea. She goes to save him, is forced to sail, realizes, so like it could have been. It didn't have to be Pua. Talking about Winnie the Pooh, I love.
We weren't talking about Winnie the Pooh.
Who's your favorite Winnie the Pooh character?
When I was younger, I definitely liked Piglet because I related to him. I was very shy, so that kind of stuck with me. Nowadays I think I have main character syndrome and also nostalgia. I do like Pooh a lot.
Pooh is great.
I had so many Winnie the Pooh bears growing up. I had both the Disneyfied version and I also had the original looking Winnie the Pooh. So like that was a part of my childhood for a very long time.
Rue was my favorite. Yeah, Kanga
dichotomy.
and Rue, Nicole, 100%. Ears.
Kanga and Rue were very fun.
Yeah, I have a Rue plushie from Disney World. Yeah, I always thought Kanga and Rue were very cute and just nice mother-son sort of cute thing, and nice. Daikami always had eyes, but now he has ears. He's improved, he's evolving.
We're digging up those memories, Jamie. We're digging them up.
I'll have to get out like the old TV smell.
Yes.
the diode TV
the
smell.
The VCR and
yeah.
brush off the dust collecting. The VHS tapes.
Oh, Tigger. I also love Tigger.
Tigger was very fun. Tigger was my brother's favorite. So I got the Pooh plushies and my brother got the Tigger plushies.
I definitely always have.
Because my brother and I always had like designated characters for some reason. Like I got Minnie, he got Mickey. I got Pooh, he got Tigger. I'm trying to think if there were any other franchises where that happened. I don't think so. Those were the two big ones. Oof, dichotomy coming after you.
Coming at me. Yes, I actually did dichotomy.
Ouch!
I actually started typing it.
Punniness
and then I
cannot forgive inaccuracy.
No, this is what happened. I went to type about how it was inaccurate, and then I was like, okay, but if I'm do that, I have to find like another accurate pun, right? And then I got distracted and I left
it. So she did try.
Because it was like, I gotta find, I understand, it was very good. But yeah, I was like, ooh, come on, if there's gotta be like, it is at least 50% accurate, this is true.
Well, you know, in my world, 50% accuracy is halfway there. So,
Interesting, Jamie.
not bad.
But yeah, I literally was like, okay, I gotta find like a comparable accurate pun, and then I got distracted. I'm pretty sure. When did you sent this yesterday, right? Because if you sent this yesterday, then you can blame Mars for distracting me really hard.
Hey,
You know what you did.
I know what I did.
You know what you did.
Did I send you link click fan art?
Yes, and then we got the title of the
Oh,
other
shit.
thing, and then I drew the other art. So it's all your fault.
You're right, I did.
It's all her fault.
Oops. That's right, I sent you Band-Aid. You should.
It was yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, but it was so pretty!
Yeah.
Oh, I
and
ship
it turned out
Shinji
some
Oshi
very
and Luke
fun
Wong so much.
sketches.
My poor boys, give them a happy ending, please.
But it was definitely Mars's fault, okay? She distracted me from editing videos. She distracted me from everything.
Listen, I am currently suffering, and fan art is the only thing that helps.
Oh no. I have to watch it though if I'm gonna draw fun covers for your stuff.
I know. That's the problem. I do know we're getting a season 3. There is a season 3 sometime on the horizon.
Okay. I guess I'll live.
I'm only up to episode 3 of season 2. This was really funny, guys. I really enjoyed season 1. Like, I binged that in a single weekend. It was so damn good. And I immediately was like, I need fan fiction. But, you know, the most recent fan fictions are based on the later season. So I'm like, okay, I'll scroll back to the beginning, and like as soon as I start seeing like the spoilers for season 2 tag, I'm gonna stop. Well, I lasted 15 pages worth of Archive of Our Own content before I hit the spoiler tag, and now I can't read anymore. Because all of it is based around season 2 episode 12 spoilers, and I'm like, I'm on episode 3.
Mars is dying.
I'm dying. I want my boys to be happy.
Versus
They've been tortured so much.
I got happy ending. I finished Fairy Tale. And it was
I
fun.
am hoping I get happy ending with Blue Exorcist. There was a massive betrayal in episode 4. I'm just like, oof, ouch, that's rough. I'm sad because Rin's sad.
15 pages of different AO3 fics, Jamie asks.
I mean, it's pretty easy if you're scrolling on your phone, Jamie. You know, you start on page 23 and then you work your way backwards, then go to page 22, 21, 20.
But so you read 15 pages worth of like fics though.
I read the ones that I wanted to read.
Yeah, so she didn't read every single one.
So not like every single one.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
I gotta be honest. I'm a little picky with my fan
I'm
fictions.
very picky.
Like here are some of my rules for reading fan fiction. I want punctuation. Like, I'm sorry, I like grammar. It's a pet peeve of mine. I do appreciate when things like read like an actual story. I can't stand, and this isn't a problem nowadays, but it was a huge problem like back in the early days of fan fiction, where our author's notes would just pop into the middle of the story out of nowhere, like a little parentheses with an author's note, and I'm just like, why? You broke up the flow of the story to throw in this unnecessary commentary. Like, why? Why would you do that? Nobody does that. But clearly somebody does that because it is out there. So that's my second pet peeve. My third one is, I gotta be honest, I like when there's spacing between the paragraphs. It's hard to read if it's just one huge block of text. So if I see that, I'm like, I'm sorry, if it's a good story, I can't read this because there's
Jamie,
no breaks in the text. That drives me crazy. And then my fourth pet peeve, and this is very specific and only pertains to a genre of fan fiction. If there is a young child character in the fanfic and they give them babies that isn't accurate, it drives me crazy. Because I have studied this. My realm of study is speech and language. So I know how a 1-year-old child talks. I know how a 2-year-old child talks, so on and so forth.
They grow up
So
really
when I
fast. It's
see
really weird.
they grow up really fast. But the one thing that drives me crazy is that so many people think in order to write children's dialogue, you just insert a W whenever there's an L or an L or an R. So like, please cowie me. I'm like, that's not how kids speak. That's just a stereotype of how kids, like, it's not that. And woo speak. Thank you, Jamie. Like, that is not how kids speak. It drives me crazy. It drives me so crazy, because that's the one thing they do. But then what they also do is they give kids sentences that they should not be saying. Okay, so this is really interesting, you guys. When kids begin speaking, they have what's called a length of utterance. What does that mean? It's how many words you're saying in a single sentence. So as adults, we are producing long utterances. We're using many words in one sentences. Whereas Mason, that's literally how it's written. It hurts. But when kids are young, typically they will speak in shorter sentences because they are still learning grammar. They're still learning about conjunctions, contractions, adjectives. Like, there are parts of language they don't know yet. So dialogue is a little simplified. You'll have more singulars, you'll have generalizations, you'll have some omissions. Like, children might not always say the little tiny connective words like the, of. Like, they might jump from word to word. That can be typical depending on the kid's age. So when I read a fan fiction where the kid is speaking a mile-long sentence like an adult, but then there's W's thrown in every other word, it drives me crazy.
I think what's
I can't
also
read it.
important is the fact that
It
like
hurts.
children are weird but coherent in a non-linear way, if that makes sense, right?
Big one.
Like, it's like they speak like normal people, obviously, like you said, with less words per sentence and this sort of thing, but they still like do it. It's definitely like more adult than you might be like imagining, but it's then what the content
they have their
is
own
like
internal
weird.
world going that they understand. Think of it like Bluey.
Oh yeah.
Like, their world makes sense to them. They rationalize things in a way that makes sense. And when you watch that show, you see it from the kid's perspective, so you make the connection too and are like, oh, that makes sense. So as an adult, I see it like this and would describe it like that. But a kid who's experiencing this for the first time describes it like this, and that's like where the connection is made.
A big thing, that this one always sticks in my head.
Rant. I need a drink.
As like a thing. So back to my cousins. When my first younger cousin was very, very little, they had gotten like dress shoes. It was like Christmas or something, and they made like tap noises on the floor. So they made like the clack noise, and so eventually they're like running around, and they're like, Ori, I have a secret. And I was like, oh, like what's the secret? They're like, lean down. It's like, okay, lean down. I have tappy shoes. And it's like, the words were
now
spoken
that's a kid,
like a person, right? Every part of that sentence makes sense in itself, right? The sentence is correct. The whole thing is right.
But it's nothing an adult would say.
The weirdest shit.
An adult would never say that.
Why is it a secret? It's the logic that is weird, not the speaking itself. Right.
Exactly.
And that's what you have to sort of get your head around, is that it's the...
Oh, okay, guys. You know the best place you can see an example of this? There is a creator I follow. I'm gonna make sure I get the name right. I'm pulling it up right now. Okay, on Instagram, he goes by I am Mr. Luke, Luke Springer. He's a teacher in Australia. And he's always posting videos about things his kids have done in class. He calls them his little legends. It is the cutest, most wholesome thing ever. But he reenacts what his kids have said throughout the day. And it's like, yep, this is childhood. This is how a kid speaks. This is how a kid thinks. Like, and he would know. He's around them all day and he's literally acting out for the audience what they said. But like, if you need an example of how kids talk, of how they think, watch his shorts. You will see so many examples.
And it's wild how young it starts. Right? Like, it's
so
wild
young.
that it's like the child starts speaking in any like moderately, sentence way, and it's like, wow, this is a person. Like, this is like, it's very sudden. And it's like, wait, this kid is only like 4? Like, this, my perception of what that means is not right.
I have had preschoolers come up to me and be like, my favorite dinosaur is Apatosaurus and Stegosaurus. I'm like, how do you know that?
Yeah, it's like, wait. How I thought,
where
like,
did you hear those words?
To me in my brain, like 6 is like, okay, this is like a human, but it's like, no, at like 3 and 4, they're like still wild.
Oh yeah.
It's like, wait,
they're
hold on.
getting smart. Oh, okay, so
Copy
Nicole, I'm
paste.
seeing your pet peeve. When writers copy paste and rename characters for more views. Really? That's a thing people do? That's rough.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I can't say I've come across that. At least not that I've
Or it's like
recognized.
the
because I
same
gotta be honest,
story, but
if
they
someone
just
posted something
change-
intended for one fandom
Yeah.
and then changed it for another, I don't think I'd ever know because, I'm not in
You'd
the
have
other
to be
fandom.
in both fandoms. The only way you could know is if you specifically follow that writer and end up in both fandoms.
Is there a particular fandom that they do that with, Nicole? I'm so curious.
Yeah,
Supposed to be
tough,
written
Jamie.
by a 9-year-old. It can be tough.
Triceratops is the best dinosaur.
Again, it's like you kind of gotta simplify, but then also think complex. Like I find not easiest, because it's definitely not easy, but to be in the headspace of, okay, how would I feel if I was confronting this for the first... I actually tried this the other day. Okay, so to set the stage, I finished watching Migi and Dolly a while ago. And there was a scene in the show that kind of got the writer in me going. So I decided, okay, I'm going to write out what the character is thinking during this scene. Now, Miki and Dolly are characters who are very sheltered and kind of have a very childlike mindset. They're devious, but they speak very simply, and they definitely have that, like, I'm still trying to make sense of the world around me. So I had to think to myself, okay, I'm confronting this situation for the first time.
Weird,
Like, I have to
Nicole.
pretend I'm confronting this for the first time. So what words would I use to describe this? What words would I use to describe how I'm feeling? And it's like, it's almost like simplifying, but it's also just putting yourself in that headspace.
But it's also like,
It was an interesting experiment. I had a lot of fun with it.
but I think the most important thing you talk about there is like experiencing it for the first time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, after a certain point, think about like a family member dying or a pet dying, right?
I was literally thinking of the Bluey episode where Bluey confronts death for the first time.
It's like it's a whole new thing.
Concept.
Right. And so now that you've experienced that, you know, as a person, you sort of are never going to experience it for the first time again. So how you process it every time is different than, you know, the first time ever, no matter how small it is. And Bluey, it's literally a wild bird, you know, that she experiences. But it is like you have to think back to like, okay, take every contextual thing out of this that I have preconceived about it, right? I don't have that information anymore. No, cool.
I don't have that information. This is something new. This is something I've never faced. What am I feeling?
Oh,
what am I
100%
paying
Nicole.
attention to? What am I processing?
Nicole, if you don't mind, how did you like find out? Like what caused you to realize that that had happened? Is it like, yeah, you were following like a writer and you decided to read 2 of their works and it was just the same thing but different names? Because yeah, there's just so much fan fiction.
My first instinct is that if it was the same author and they just changed the names, that had to be, and I'm not trying to judge, I promise, but that had to be the most like general plot. Because if you're just changing the names, then it really can't be specific, because it can't be specific to the characters.
It feels like AU vibes, you know, like Cafe AU or something, and then you could put any characters in a Cafe
so
AU,
then it can be interchangeable.
It doesn't necessarily work. Nicole is specifically saying.
You still keep hints of the characters.
Well, but that's what Nicole is saying, that the context, they don't take any consideration to that. You searched for a title of a piece that you'd read, and then there were like 20 of the same title, but with different ships. Oh.
That's crazy.
Nuts. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, that's definitely noticeable.
That's rough.
You catch on to that pretty fast.
I've never experienced that.
I can't say I have either. I've definitely experienced cases where it was 2 different authors and it felt like a similar plot, but there were some minor differences here and there. So it was kind of a little difficult to tell.
A little sus.
A little sus, but not sus enough. Just enough to make you raise an eyebrow.
I don't read nearly as much fan fiction as Mars, so I will say I haven't come across it. At this point, most of the fan fiction I read is Mars's writing. If I'm being honest.
Oh shoot! I gotta provide Ori with stuff.
Well, that's why I gotta watch Link Click apparently. So
you do need to watch Link Click.
Okay, it's literally what's happening now. Okay, I finished Royal Tutor and I told you it would be next, so.
Okay.
It's coming.
Good.
It's happening.
I am hoping to finish season 2 this weekend. We're gonna go, and it's gonna be fun and good, and I'm ready.
Yeah, are they 12 and 12?
12 and 12, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Monor dichotomy. Proofreading is a great way to hone your writing skills, because like if you can edit, you can write.
For me to read fan fiction, it definitely has to be like I'm really in it, and I'm really in it in a way where the show is lacking. Like, I don't think I would ever read Dungeon Meshi fan fiction, and the reason for that is because
I don't think I could either, to be honest.
It's just so good. Like, it's not missing anything, you know. Like, there's nothing to be desired, right? Like, I'm satisfied. I'm satiated.
Like, you could expand on some things, but I feel like everything's expanded on.
Yeah, I'm satiated. I'm happy. I'm full. I'm fed. I don't need
fitting.
Yeah, exactly. I do not need more from that, right?
The only thing I could think is, depending on how it ends, you could always have a flash forward type of fanfic where it's like catch up with them 5 years later and see what's going down. Like, that could be interesting. But in order to do that, you need to actually have a ending.
Yeah, we have to know how it ends
thing.
soon. Soon.
Oh, look at you, Rovo.
Yep, getting there.
Climbing the ranks.
But like, yeah, the big like, my big fan fiction, you know, sort of foray was in God,
You know, sometimes
brain,
that's where it starts,
Voltron,
dichotomy.
right? And Voltron.
Oh yeah, because they refused to give us Keith and Lance, so we had to
Yeah,
go
so
get our
I
dinner
had to get it
elsewhere.
somewhere else, okay?
That explains how we end up reading so much ship fic. It never happens
That's
again.
a wild dichotomy. Good night, Mason.
Night, Mason. Thanks for hanging.
I hope you at least knew what you were getting into when you said okay to proofread.
Yeah, hopefully that didn't come as a surprise.
Hopefully that wasn't like a proofread my fanfiction.
Like,
Yeah, it's
okay.
It's smut. Okay. Whoops.
I gotta be honest. Have I written? I think I attempted. I've definitely attempted, but it was like the most vanilla.
Oh, to write smut?
And it was very vague too. Like, never used any of the actual words, just like described feelings and stuff, and that was it. Oh, night, pastry puff. Have a good one.
Yes, I've seen the Voltron Despacito parody because of you, dichotomy.
Most people can't, Jamie. And that's why I aim to prove them wrong.
Oh, I think it would be funny if Mars did, but I feel like Mars and I are both in the same boat where it's like the edge of NSFW. Right? Like, I could never draw explicit.
Just, like, I'd rather write fluff. Like, fluff is what gets me giddy. I was literally... Okay, so Lost Geraniums. The first fanfic, like my true return to form following the Disastrous Cafe. The first one Ori gave me a cover for. I was reading it to her one night because sometimes reading out loud you start to notice certain phrasing, certain edits
you notice
that
it's wrong when you read out loud 100%.
You really notice it's wrong when you read it out loud.
You really do.
But I'm reading it to Ori, and all of a sudden, like during the scene where they're actually like getting together, I start giggling uncontrollably. Like during the whole thing, I just started giggling because like this is what I enjoy. The fluff is cute, and I think it's so sweet.
What happened, Mars and I?
But also, I think if I ever read Smut's Ori, it would just be like the most
that would be wild. I don't think I could do that.
Ever.
See, the images, it's like this is nice, but I don't know when it gets into like the reading, it's like this is odd.
I mean, hey, if I could do that, then I could make it as a narrator for audio.
Yeah, there you go. But no,
I always wondered how they kept straight faces reading that.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I lost it. Damn, I lost it. I had something. It's gone. Oh, I think it was the
sometimes you only realize edits when you read things out loud. That's the problem.
It was about how much porn and smut is created by people who are ace as hell. I think there's two reasons for that. One, it's kind of like extra intriguing in a sense, right? It's like an interesting sort of like experiment, I guess. And also, then you can do it in like a very beautiful way because you're not necessarily like focusing on the one part. You could focus on the anatomy because damn, that's like the best part when you see good like NSFW art out there. It's like, wow, you really have a structure, like the ability to draw like the human form. It's very beautiful.
You understand structure.
Or like the lighting, like there's a bunch of like I follow specifically NSFW artists for some things like, because I like their art style and they're just really good. Like it's just good. It's just good art at a certain point. Yes, the Gilbert Gottfried reading 50 Shades of Grey. But with less inflection from Mars. I think, Yes, Jamie. Yeah, it's just like it's an aesthetic thing. It's just very nice.
Yeah.
It can be beautiful. Oh, was that a whole thing? It was like there was something. It was like when you're an artist and you want to get better at drawing like a specific part of the anatomy, but you have to not get too good at drawing that specific part of the anatomy because otherwise people will think you're into something. And it's like, oh no, and that like foot is just drawn a little too well. It's like, no, I swear I was just studying. What was it? It was for research, Mom. On incognito tab. So funny.
Okay. I found a good video from I Am Mr. Luke. I'm going to put it in the couch for people to check out. This is how kids talk.
Beautiful.
This is how kids talk. And also just how they hop from one idea to the next with no transition.
Yeah, exactly.
You draw
Jamie.
forearms strangely well. Goals. I mean, just goals.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, I was reading. It was that webcomic called Shiloh, right? And that one guy,
fuck yeah.
the like the mercenary. I don't even remember any of their names. I haven't read it in a long time. But the one guy, he was like the main character guy, right? The hunter or whatever, the bounty hunter, whatever he was. There's like a scene, and I can't remember if it's he takes off his jacket or he rolls up the sleeves, and it was just like, dang. I was like, I kept going back to that one. I was like, oh my god, this is so beautiful.
Shit.
So pretty.
I know we had that moment when Nanami rolled up his
yes,
sleeves and was just like,
I don't know what it is. It's just good. It's like it's so good.
Some people just know how to draw characters very aesthetically pleasing.
Exactly.
Very aesthetically pleasing.
This should be Shadow. I say as I'm drawing Farrags like this.
Ori, I'm very curious.
Yeah.
I've talked about my pet peeves with writing and fan fiction. Do you have a pet peeve when it comes to art and comics?
Yeah, I think my absolutely yes, Jamie. But I think my absolutely biggest one is kind of like a I understand why it's done, but it doesn't mean I like it, right? Like I'm accepting of it because if I wasn't, like, the really, I did dichotomy. I did.
Very early tonight, in fact.
Yeah, but it's when, and the problem is, it's like I understand why they do it, right? But it's when, especially in comics, they have like the realistic or like the 3D modeled backgrounds, and they don't even like draw or paint over it. It's okay.
Oh.
You can show it again. There it is again.
Yes, for everyone who missed it.
Yeah, there's Jamie. Jamie needed to see it.
Not the sweet bee, but the sweat bee.
Yes, the green sweat bee. But yeah, and so it's like the characters in a very distinct, drawn style is sitting in like a cafe that is literally just a 3D render or like an image or something. And it's like,
I could see how that would break immersion.
I really don't like it, but I understand that they do it because like deadlines are a bitch, drawing backgrounds sucks, and like, you need to cut corners sometimes. But out of all the corners to cut, I hate that one the most. Because it's like, I don't know. I feel like you could spend the time to have a couple establishing shots and then do kind of what like some comics do, where it's just like, okay, when they're talking, you don't actually need to know where they are in the space. You just kind of, exist. So, yeah, that one peeves me the most. I will say something that's moderately annoying that does kind of turn me off from wanting to read more is when the text inside the bubbles is really uncentered. Like, consistently a lot. I just picked up Covenant again because they started up again, and in the first one a lot of the text in the bubbles were like really lopsided. I was just like, oh, okay, like I understand, and that's the problem. It's the problem in the fact that, like, I understand that you are getting paid either not at all or very little, and I understand that to have, like, good recognition, you need to keep up, you know,
And deadlines
at
are
a
a bitch.
breakneck pace, right? I get that. I experience it. But it still kind of sucks. No, it's still like, oh boy, this is really rough. And so I will say definitely the comics that I would consider my favorites are definitely the ones that have drawn backgrounds. You know, you can have drawn backgrounds where you're drawing them over the 3D modeled space, but if they're not in your style at all, it's just like,
oh, it's incredibly noticeable.
Jarring, you know. It's very much I drew this character like in this 3D model, like it's so obvious. And so it just kind of sucks. Those are probably my pet peeves. But what sucks about it is that, like, they come from a place of necessity 99% of the time, and not a place of laziness.
That's right. Thanks. Yeah.
Alright. I think we should be wrapping up, though. We
About
finish
that.
off with this lovely Ferrix. I did a good amount today, I will say. I got more done than I needed to, which is good.
It's a good day for work.
And I got to do a thing. Yeah, because I only had to get to this panel. And then I did basically a whole nother day's worth of panels already, so that's
Damn.
pretty nice. Pretty grand.
For you.
We're going. Honestly, as like a finishing step, rendering is probably my favorite, you know, of the finishing steps. There's definitely, I was doing the backgrounds and I was like, I want to be done. I'm not going to render the backgrounds. And so I'm glad I did that because it's very easy to do per panel, but I was like dying. I was like, no, I'm so done drawing logs.
We'll never be done.
Yeah. Whoa, the colors? I don't know which colors we're talking about. I love this one. I do like fun lighting. You know? I do like getting to draw the glow of the campfire, or, you know, the setting sun and everything. Definitely fun. And I definitely like
Just
putting
looks
the
so
background to like a dark color when it's night. I forgot. Dang it. That's why we always go back and look at stuff. Alright, guys.
Double check our work before we hand it in.
That's why I go over it like 4 times. Still mistakes anyway, though. There we go. Gotta add that campfire glow. But alright, guys. Thank you all for hanging out. We always appreciate having you here, chilling with us, hanging with us.
A lovely comic corner.
Indeed. We talked
You
about
want
lots
to
of
roll
fun
credits,
stuff.
Ori?
Yes, I do want to roll credits. I'm adding campfire glow. I gotta make it happen.
Show
Alright.
them that glow.
There you go. Beautiful. Alright.
It's all that they know.
Thank you all to our lovely YouTube channel members, and of course everybody in chat today, and
Yes.
any pod watchers if
We're
you're
all
out
wonderful
there.
and lovely. Thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you all for your support. Hope you've had a lovely Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day it is for you. Monday? I don't think it's
Yes.
Monday for anybody. I think it's either
I
Tuesday or
don't
Wednesday.
believe so.
But hey, you do know that guy. Yeah,
You
I know
do
that guy
indeed,
too.
Dichotomy.
And that other guy, and the other guy.
A lot
But,
of the guys.
Yeah. All right. Thursday, guys.
Yes, big
is
announcement.
Not a normal stream. I will instead be joining Dichotomy Games, as you have seen in chat, and I believe, is Ixion part of the group Dichotomy? I'm trying to always remember. On Ixion's Twitch channel called Ixion the Unlucky, that's Ixion the Unlucky, and we will be doing, basically doing homebrew for, yeah, he is on the team. Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. So Ixion, part of the Dichotomy Games team, and Dichotomy Games, have invited me onto their sort of, it's a like tabletop, crafting thing, where they will make beasts for 5e stat blocks, to kind of fill in the gaps, because 5e really doesn't have that many beasts, if we're being honest. Needs a lot more.
It's quite sad. We gotta fix
druid.
that.
Yeah, especially if you're a druid. So tune in. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Thursday. You can see your local time in our Discord. But that's and the link to Ixion's Twitch channel is in the Discord schedule as well. So I hope to see you there.
And it'll be posted. Easy navigation. I might hang in chat that
I'm sorry,
night.
Nicole. Maybe there is a chance. We'll see. Maybe I'll stream it to YouTube. We'll see what happens. But yeah. All right, guys. Have a great night, and we will hopefully see you later. Good night.
See you later, everybody. Have a good one.